But when it is there, when you understand the depth, the eyes, the leverage of the secondary, and you understand, okay, you're going to get one high, you're going to be able to get a good matchup, then I'm going to force it down the field. It's something he understood against Ohio State, and when he got blitz zero, when he got blitz, he put it up for his receivers. They made it unbelievable catches, but he also was someone that didn't just throw it into harm's way. That's something that he has to do. He has to be patient. Yes, they want to take shots, but take the right shots the right way.
Watch out for the Wolverines after halftime, man. Michigan has the best second-half scoring margin by any team entering bowl season in the college football playoff era, outscoring opponents by 206 points. Tim Tebow, my man. Thank you, bro. Ahead on SportsCenter, C.J. Stroud has put up big numbers this season. Now he's facing a tough Georgia defense with a dominant front seven. How he can have success against the Bulldogs today.
Definitely haven't had a lot of believers outside the locker room, but I never gave up.
The Packers are alive. Let's fight.
It's an opportunity right in front of us right now. It's time to go win the game.
All right, not that we're biased here at ESPN, but the best matchup of Week 17 is Monday Night Football, Bills-Bengals. Let's get into this game. The Bengals riding a 7-game win streak while the Bills have won 6 straight. Together, they're combined for 23 wins this season. That's tied for the most ever entering a Monday Night Football matchup. And Josh Allen, meantime, has 16 pass touchdowns to just 1 pick on Monday Night Football. With a win, the Bills will not only match the franchise record for wins in the season, they would just need a Chiefs loss to clinch the 1 seed. Now, as for the Bengals, a win would match their longest win streak in franchise history. It could also clinch their 2nd consecutive AFC North title if Baltimore loses the night before. Our own Ben Baby starts us off with this SC Huddle.
The Cincinnati Bengals know exactly what's at stake as they host the Bills on Monday Night Football. Bengals coach Zach Taylor said over the Bengals for the top playoff seed in the AFC. I asked Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow if the team was beyond a measuring stick game, and he said that they've played bigger than the one here on Monday night. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase said the game will feature the best of the best, and it will be a chance to put on a show for the whole world to see.
The Buffalo Bills are 2 wins away from accomplishing one of their 4 targets for the season. Each year, Coach Sean McDermott sets goals for his team: make the playoffs, win the division, get home field advantage, and win the Super Bowl. But before the AFC playoffs can come through right here in Orchard Park, the Bills have to face one of the teams vying for that number 1 seed still in the Bengals. And the magnitude of this game is not lost on the Bills. Center Mitch Morse said he'd be lying if he said they did not understand the implications involved, and that these games can kinda heighten your senses. And Coach Sean McDermott did say that this is what
all alive for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Our analytics give the Chiefs a slight edge over the Bills to secure that 1 seed, despite Buffalo just needing to win out in order to finish at the top of the AFC. Now, we know that Tua Tagovailoa will be out this weekend, but he's not the only Dolphin that's injured. The key players who will be game time decisions against the Patriots.
Barbara Walters was a trailblazing television news broadcaster and longtime ABC News anchor and correspondent. She shattered the glass ceiling, becoming a dominant force in an industry once dominated by men. Walters died Friday, peacefully, her spokesperson says, and surrounded by loved ones. Walters joined ABC News in 1976, becoming the first female anchor on an evening news program. 3 years later, she became a co-host of 2020, and in 1997, she launched The View and led the original cast. Bob Iger, the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, which is the parent company of ABC News and ESPN, called Walters a pioneer, not just for women in journalism, but for journalism itself. Oprah Winfrey said without Barbara Walters, there wouldn't have been an Oprah. Walters is survived by her daughter, Jacqueline. Barbara Walters was 93 years old.
What's up, Einstein?
My network has gone kaput.
You tried to save a buck on it?
I got what I paid for. Not so smart.
Nah, you're still a genius. But there is a smarter way to save.
Oh.
Switch to Verizon. For a limited time, get Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line.
$25?
And it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Brilliant!
Well, you would know.
I'm switching.
I think the bike's probably faster.
Now is the best time to switch to Verizon for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. The savings that last on the network you want. Verizon.
Deep sea driving, I see.
Something like that.
Well, here's something else. With your Farmer's Policy perk, new car replacement, you can get a new one.
That is something else.
Get a whole lot of something with Farmer's Policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All of Sonic's under $2 craves are under $2, so you can get something tasty without breaking the bank. Sonic under $2 craves.
Sonic.
Oh, hi!
You're in a hurry.
I'm off to America's Best. I heard what you said about not overpaying for glasses.
2 pairs and a free quality eye exam starting at just $79.95?
Yes! The exam alone is worth
$59.
Which is great, because I hate getting overcharged.
You have no idea.
I mean, people deserve breaks, right?
Yeah, breaks.
Let's go save! Can't stop, won't stop!
Coming in hot! 2 pairs and a free exam starting at $79.95. Book an exam today at americasbest.com. Do I just leave it here?
The NBA is back, and with FanDuel, this season's looking better than ever. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet and get up to $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win. So bet on everything from spreads to same-game parlays. And when you win, you can get paid instantly. Now that's truly a thing of beauty. Make every moment more with FanDuel. New customers get a no-sweat first bet and get up to $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started... Alright. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact for safe, clear driving visibility. Pick up a set of Trico wiper blades at your local Advance Auto Parts store.
It's the Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible subs. The most epic sandwich roster ever created. It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
Andor is one of the year's best shows, nominated for 2 Critics' Choice Awards and a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Television Series Drama. Star Wars Andor, all episodes now streaming.
Move out the way. We don't just move forward, we move minds. We move hearts. We move together. Every play, every game, every day. We never back off. We never stop moving. That's our move. Women's college basketball on ESPN and ABC.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T.
Nugenix Total T is the unique man-boosting formula powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient, clinically researched to boost free testosterone, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more muscle and drive. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC, but you can only get your complimentary bottle by texting CORD to 42424.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way,
Minnesota, and for good measure, he added 20 rebounds as well. He joins Wilt Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor as the only players with back-to-back games of 40, 20, and 5 assists. Zach LaVine also pouring in 43 as the Bulls beat Detroit 132-118. LaVine scoring nearly half his points, 18 in the first quarter alone. He was 5 of 9 from beyond the arc and reaching his season high. Our fourth 40-point game comes from C.J. McCollum, who poured in 42 in New Orleans' win over the Sixers, 127-116. He also set a franchise record with 11 three-pointers. CJ's 40-point night coming 2 nights after Zion scored 43 in a win over Minnesota. And the Warriors knocked off the Blazers 118-112 behind another 40-point performance, this one from Jordan Poole, who went for 41. The Warriors' 4th straight win, and Poole has been the team's leading scorer in 9 of the 10 games missed so far by Wardell Stephen Curry. Throughout all of December, there have been 43 40-point games, the most in a calendar month in NBA history. Excluding Christmas Eve, where there were no games, there has been a 40-point performance on 9 straight days. That is tied for the second longest streak in NBA history, trailing only a 10-day streak back in 1961.
I need everybody eyes up. Look me in the eye. Everyone look me in the eye.
They have something to prove. We all have something to prove.
Think about what you've done to get here. Think about the work you've done to get this opportunity. Got a chance to do something special, man. Hit from behind the tackle. That's unbelievable. What a play. You got it better than us. It comes down to the team that wants it the most. We ain't played our best yet. We ain't played our best yet. There ain't no doubt in my mind this team is ready.
All right, we're getting ready. David Pollack joining us from Atlanta now with both semifinals mere hours away. David, I want to ask you, at 8 Eastern on ESPN, we got Ohio State and C.J. Stroud going to get that face-to-face meeting with Jalen Carter and that Georgia front seven. So, David, I want to ask you, if Stroud is going to find success against that group today, it'll be because of what?
It'll be that he's got a good plan, good focus, and he's getting rid of the football quick. Like C.J. Stroud, when he catches the football in rhythm, on time, knows what he sees, he's as good as anybody in the country. I mean, he really can spin it. But Jalen Carter will be in his face. Jalen Carter, the best player in the college football playoffs. So how does he navigate that rush? C.J. Stroud is elite when he's not pressured and when he has time and when he's believing what he's seeing. But if you can get him off that spot a little bit and cause a little bit of indecision, then you can have a chance. Otherwise, listen, Marvin Harrison Jr. is out wide. He's a freak show. I mean, you've heard of his daddy, but he's a way bigger, more physical, more elite physical skill set trait on the outside. So they can make some plays against this Georgia secondary.
All right, speaking of great front sevens, Michigan, 4 Eastern on ESPN will feature just that, right, against TCU. This Max Duggan offense is unlike, though, what the Wolverines are used to. How is he going to test that Michigan defense?
Very unlike what they're used to seeing because there's not a lot of spread that they've seen this year. So they're going to spread you sideline to sideline with fast, athletic kids all over the field and an athletic quarterback that can run the football. So it'll be a challenge. They can also run tempo to death, but Max Duggan's had an unbelievable year. Started the year not even as the starter, and then ends up at the Heisman Trophy, ceremony and finishes second. But the deep balls down the field, I think he's got 12-plus touchdowns, 50-plus yards down the field. But that right there, his ability to pull the ball and run and keep the defense honest so you can't cheat is going to be pivotal. If Max Duggan plays great, TCU has a chance to win.
TCU's 40 points per game ranked 5th in the nation, and Michigan just behind at 6th. Gracias, David.
De nada.
Are we going bilingual now? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
That's show? Okay.
The rest of the show.
All right, perfect. Back to the NFL. The winner of Dolphins-Patriots has a decent chance at the playoffs. Patriots lose, they're out. Dolphins lose, they're in trouble. Miami entering this one without their starting QB. Tua in concussion protocol again. Teddy Bridgewater expected to start. The Dolphins on a 4-game losing streak. Looked like the playoffs were a certainty. Now they need to win at least on or possibly both of their last 2 games to reach the postseason. Marcel Louis-Jacques starting this SportsCenter huddle.
The healthy quarterback Tua Tagovailoa obviously got a bulk of the attention this week, but the Dolphins have several key starters who are game time decisions Sunday against the Patriots. Alec Ingold, Teron Armstead, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, all coming down to the wire in a game the Dolphins have to win, not just to keep their playoff hopes alive, but to restore some morale after a 4-game losing streak. Coach Mike McDaniel said this week of practice was probably the team's best to date, saying he was proud of the work ethic and focus that his team showed. It's yet another adverse situation for the Dolphins, but McDaniel said this is where he wants his team to thrive, that situations like these are where teams find out what they're really made of. Now, this Sunday's game does fall on New Year's Day, so it's an opportunity for the Dolphins to start the year off on a clean slate after their first winless December since 1993.
Patriots sack leader Matthew Judon said it's been a crazy year for the team, before adding, "We still have something to fight for." Needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive, you could definitely feel a postseason vibe around players this week, a heightened urgency. Safety Devin McCourty said Bill Belichick laid it out to players this way: everything you've got, there's no saving it for anything else. One major concern for the Patriots, a run of injuries at cornerback, which had Judon joking that it might be him out on the island against Dolphins receiver Jalen Waddle, before Judon turned serious and said he's confident in the team's plan, saying this is an opportunity for others to step up where their careers could take off.
The Patriots are currently still on the outside looking in when it comes to the AFC playoff picture, while the Dolphins are holding on to that final wildcard spot. Our analytics give Miami a 65% chance to make the playoffs, while New England has a 22% chance.
All right, Jay, streaks go on in the NHL, and we're going to start off with Connor McDavid doing Connor McDavid things. The Oilers visiting the Kraken. Connor McDavid on a 16-game point streak. Check this out.
Kraken.
Yes, first period, no score, just under 3 minutes into the action. Edmonton on the power play. McDavid and the Oilers with an opportunity here. McDavid connecting to Zach Hyman, who connects with the puck, finding the back of the net. McDavid extends his point streak to 17 games, tied for his longest streak in a season in his career. Now, that would be the catalyst for an explosive couple minutes for the Oilers. Less than 30 seconds after the first goal, this one from Klim Kostin. Oilers go up 2-0. Just 32 seconds later, Oilers looking for more. McDavid finds Darnell Nurse, who sends a wrist shot in, and that scores 3 goals, 71 seconds for the Oilers. McDavid said post-game that, you know what, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. This was a good night. Third period now. McDavid with the steal and the rush. He snags the goal. 5-point game for Connor McDavid. He's now at 72 points on the season. Oilers win it 7-2.
Hurricanes have won 9 straight coming in. Panthers trying to stop that. All 3 Stahl brothers, Jordan, Eric, and Mark, on the ice together Friday for the 12th time in their careers. 7 minutes into the first period, no score. Hurricanes, a few seconds left on the power play. Sebastian Aho firing the puck, going off the post, lands in front of Stefan Nason, who flicks it into the net. His 6th power play goal this season. Hurricanes up 1-0. Early second period, Hurricanes with another power play. Brent Burns finds Andrei Svechnikov, fires a wrister from the left circle, his 19th of the year. Canes up 2-0. It's over 8 minutes in the second. Carolina, another power play. Seth Jarvis to Teuvo Teravainen with a smooth turnaround assist, and he scores. History repeating itself. A year ago, Friday, the last time the Hurricanes had 3 power play goals in the game, they go on to win. Their franchise win streak is now 10.
All right, Jay, coming up on SportsCenter, 2022 gave us some unforgettable moments, thrilling victories, heartbreaking losses, and everything in between. We look at the images of the year.
To America's Best, I heard what you said about not overpaying for glasses.
2 pairs and a free quality eye exam starting at just $79.95?
Yes! The exam alone is worth
$59.
Which is great, because I hate getting overcharged.
You have no idea.
I mean, people deserve breaks, right?
Yeah, breaks.
Let's go save! Can't stop Weston!
Coming in hot! 2 pairs and a free exam starting at $79.95. Book an exam today at americasbest.com. Do I just leave it here?
The NBA is back, and with FanDuel, this season's looking better than ever. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet and get up to $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win. So bet on everything from spreads to same-game parlays. And when you win, you can get paid instantly. Now that's truly a thing of beauty. Make every moment more with FanDuel. New customers get a no-sweat first bet and get up to $1,000 back in free bets if you don't win.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds.
Based on the vehicle's accident history. Look for me and stop overpaying. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
This is the story of an airline. But wait, it's about more than just planes. It's a sci-fi story about a piece of trash that becomes sustainable aviation fuel. It's a rescue story about saving thousands of connecting flights. It's a romance, an adventure, a musical. But most of all, it's a people story, starring more than 80,000 hero characters on a mission to do good in the air and beyond. Because this is the story of an airline when good leads the way.
Jake from State Farm. I really want that personal price plan, so I'll admit it. I'm a bath bomb guy.
Dude, you do not need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan simply helps you create an affordable price just for you.
For real?
Who's ready for their jazz bath? No?
Who is that guy?
Jazz bath? Call or click to get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With Prime Video, 'tis the season to binge.
Call it a gift.
Every episode of Rings of Power, plus all the Lord of the Rings movies on the one app that unites them all.
I'm going on an adventure!
Catch up on hit shows. Rewatch your favorite movies. Prime Video.
Learn more at Phoenix.edu.
Crimson Tide have lost 3 of their 4 Sugar Bowl appearances with Nick Saban as head coach. As for the Wildcats, they've won 3 straight games against AP Top 5 opponents, which is tied with Georgia for the longest active streak in FBS.
Capital One Bowl Mania Preview is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
You know, Jay Williams just sent me a message. Did Michelle Steele just call you Jay Williams?
True story. Sadly, a true story.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's our blooper for 2022.
Finishing 2022 strong.
Speaking of, where do we start? In 2022, we regained a sense of normalcy in our sports world. We had fans back in the seats of ballparks. The arenas were full, stadiums full throughout the world. But for some, the best viewing experience has always been at home. in your living room. That's where the game and after the game and the newest Sports Center ends, you switch the input on the TV, hook up your game system, and you just go crazy with the thumbs. You just go crazy with that.
Jay Harris, you put it exactly right on that one. You know, right after SportsCenter ends, you take a look at all of these images, whether they're on social, whether they're on television in the 2022 calendar year. We saw plenty of video game-like highlights, witnessed human cheat codes, achieved new high scores.
We did.
So much so that we present to you, the viewer at home, 2022 images of the year, the video game.
Welcome to Images of the Year. Play now.
No retirement in my future.
They're peacocks. You gotta let them fly. Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Oh, 62. That's my friend. I speak it every day. David has won the battle of Alberta.
John Morant, insanity.
Touchdown pick.
Tigers win, and the fans storm the field.
Come to me. Come on.
Looks like we're going to the AFC Championship.
Flying in the moment, scoring goals for fun.
The longest shot has won the Kentucky Derby. Miracle Martin.
At the horn, struck him out.
Ankle breaker. Are you kidding me? That was like a real game.
When are we going to do something? I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough.
Game, set, and match for Ukraine, who lift the hearts of a devastated nation.
I hope that in your ruling, that it doesn't end my life here.
If you're the man and you've got weight on your shoulders, please speak to someone.
The choir huddle, old school in tribute to Len Dawson.
Bill Russell was the greatest of men. This world was very lucky to have him.
Number 10, Guy Lafleur. So Mr. Vin can hear us from Blue Heaven.
Franco brought us joy for 50 years. Number 32 is officially retired.
This is my moment. They can't take my talent. They can't take my stripes.
I see the opportunity for Live Golf to do a lot of good for the game throughout the world.
It means the world to be here and be able to compete.
I am in my zone, eyes on the throne. 20K deep, better pull out your phones. Turning the arena to believers every time I hit the ceiling. Ain't nobody ever touching my show.
You can come and play on this stage if you just work hard and just stay the course. I'm gonna miss it.
That's been a perfect journey. I would do it all over again.
That's the thing that I'll miss. I won't be in the arena anymore. But damn, I was in the arena for a long time.
I was supposed to be a one-hair ringer. Now I got too many rings and not enough fingers.
What are they gonna say now? I just wanted people to be inspired by my story. I'm from Compton, California.
At the end of the day, it's like who needs it? Player on player, gotta keep competing. Keep dreaming, won't settle for. It isn't sport, it's my life. Win the championship.
My mother would have been prepped.
Yes, sir.
Happy tears, Holly.
Now driving, Tiger Woods.
And Nadal stands alone.
Nadal said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.
This is amazing what dreams are made of.
Build a player mode.
This game is turned upside down. He signals to his ring finger. This season has come up aces. Second major title of the year. Far and away the world's number one.
Continuing to rewrite the record books.
Double shot again, baby. Let's go.
On the first night of Hanukkah, it's a miracle.
Season franchise mode.
But you can't stay here. The core storming the field. Look at this. The Jordan shrug. What can you say? Great save by Marshall. The heels kick their rivals to the curb. Harper, the swing of his life. Argentina campeón del mundo. Got it to go. The streak lives. The Astros have a World Series no-hitter. He goes 49 feet. Georgia on the mountaintop. Number 2 all-time in scoring. Number 700. 802. Oh, wow! Jumping and making the catch. And more. What a way to end it. The job is done. Woo! Bills get the lead back again. Take me out. And the Chiefs have won in overtime.
Thanks for playing Images of the Year 2022.
Ohio State and TCU enter the college football playoff as underdogs. The Buckeyes and Horned Frogs both looking for upsets. The team that's the better bet for your money today. Plus, whether it's a 3 from near half court or an amazing touchdown catch, Friday's best moments had plenty of distance. See how they all stack up in top plays.
Not that into saving, are you?
Whoa, dude.
Money. Because you paid too much for those glasses. Next time, go to America's Best, where 2 pairs and a free quality eye exam start at just $79.95. Book an exam today at americasbest.com.
Hey, just try it. Let it take you.
Take me?
Right.
You can take these $5, though.
What's up, Einstein?
My network has gone kaput.
You tried to save a buck on it?
Not so smart.
Well, there is a smarter way to save.
Oh.
Switch to Verizon.
That's right. For a limited time, get Verizon Unlimited for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years.
Brilliant!
Only on Verizon.
All of Sonic's under $2 craves are under $2, so you can get something tasty without breaking the bank. Sonic under $2 craves.
Sonic.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school.
What?
But the good news is, it's the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale. Now hurry, and you can get fast, reliable Xfinity internet. Plus, when you add Xfinity Mobile, you get the best price for 2 lines of unlimited.
I gotta get this deal.
And for a limited time, new internet and mobile customers can get $500 back.
That's amazing, Doc.
Drop everything. Get to the Xfinity Hello 2023 sale. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Hey, we got soul. Oh, yeah, we got soul.
With the most 5-star cruise reviews on TripAdvisor, your gorgeous vacation at sea awaits.
Roy and Debbie retired, then had to face a volatile market. They contacted their personal capital advisor and checked our free retirement planner. Now they feel confident and no longer worry about what the market may bring. Start today at personalcapital.com.
These days, it seems like everything is vying for your attention. There are tons of trending dances to discover on social media, and there's even this. The easiest way to book an exam at America's Best. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for $79.95. Book your exam today.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the league battle for playoff position.
You leave everything out on this field. Me and Nasty, let's go.
Allen and the Bills.
Come on!
Burrow and the Bengals.
Put it in my hands, it's over.
The stage is set for an epic Monday night matchup.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like man over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T.
Nugenix Total T is the unique man-boosting formula powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient, clinically researched to boost free testosterone, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more muscle and drive. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC, but you can only get your complimentary bottle by texting FORD to 42424.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text FORD to 42424. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free.
How old is he, Doug?
He's
it makes me laugh every time. It is Arthur time, and oh, hi, Doug Kazarian. Oh my goodness, you put Arthur in a tuxedo. That's amazing. And he looks better than you. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Yeah, journalism is dead.
We got to get to Arthur. Jobs coming up.
Yeah, we're going to see if a trend from the regular season carries over into this bowl game today. And we're looking at TCU in the first half plus 4.5 against Michigan. Michigan obviously has had a great season, undefeated, but was only potential of any team in the college football playoff era. So this is obviously, it sort of fits with the narrative, right? They want to grind you away on the clock, on the ground game, and really pull away in the second half. So it's almost like body blows in the first half. And then ultimately, the gas tank of the opponent is empty come fourth quarter. So we think we want TCU to keep this close. So dog of the week, at least in the first half, dogs plus the 4.5.
Where'd you find that little dog tuxedo?
Amazon. It has everything.
Okay, leading into the semifinal games, it's the Allstate Sugar Bowl with Alabama and Kansas State, noon Eastern, ESPN. What's the play that has legs here, my friend?
Yeah, I like Alabama here. You know, there's a narrative that the Crimson Tide only show up for college football playoff games and there's letdown the bowl games. I don't think that's going to be the case today, partly because Bryce Young and Will Anderson are going to play, possibly the top 2 picks in the NFL draft. So that sends a message to the entire team. Saban's been saying this team. Now, in the Sugar Bowl, we've seen some favorites fall flat on their face, but I don't think that's going to happen. This Crimson Tide team, even if there's some reserves playing, they're 5 stars who are aching to play, have had a month of practice with Saban cracking the whip. I like K-State. I think they're a really good team, and the metrics say so as well. But I just think Alabama's a cut above, so I'll lay the touchdown with the Crimson Tide.
All right, before you go, it is time for better late than never. What's a move you like today?
I'm going to go to the last game of the night, and we're going to lay the points with Georgia -6. I know there's professional money on Ohio State plus the points, but I think the Buckeyes are getting by on brand name. All their big games, they've sort of lost the trenches, the battle in the trenches. I think Georgia covers and wins by at least 2 scores because of the dominance of that offensive and defensive line.
All right, more Arthur and Doug with the weekly betting column on ESPN.com and the ESPN app. Arthur, good to see you. Doug, you too.
Jay, where's your tux? That's what I want to know.
I think it went to Doug's house.
All right, here's
Cut it up for Arthur.
Here's some Tux-worthy plays, top plays from Friday night. Did you catch that save from Thibaut Courtois? Real Valladolid versus Real Madrid. Courtois makes that amazing save. Real Madrid wins it 2-0.
Men's College Hockey International and Cornell. Americans Brian Kramer on the attack. Dekes right, left, and fires it for the goal. Just glides in and rips it past the goalie. America International would lose in a shootout.
Yep, number 8, NBA Blazers Warriors. Final seconds of the first. Ty Jerome gets the inbound pass. That heave is good. And it makes it before, right at the buzzer. The Warriors win it 118-112.
Number 7, Duke's Mayo Bowl, Maryland, NC State. Taulia Tagovailoa throwing it to Octavian Smith Jr. Oh, what a catch. Man, what a catch. Maintains possession, scores. Maryland wins 16-12.
One J 123 to 114.
National Lacrosse League at number 5, Seals and Roughnecks. Seals Dane Dobie. The ball shoots, gets the rebound, and watch him sneak it past the goalie for the goal.
Try to go short side, gets the rebound and scores.
All sneaks it past the goal. All that padding.
Woo.
Seals win 17-14.
Number 4, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Notre Dame versus South Carolina. Spencer Rattler rolling out, fires a deep downfield to Xavier Leggett, who makes the catch for the TD. Just gets that foot in bounds, and the call is confirmed, a touchdown. South Carolina loses it, though, 45-38.
Men's college basketball, number 3, Siena, Quinnipiac. Louis Court right, Quinnipiac. Boom! Just all up in my man's grill. Oh, play number 3, but the Bobcats lose 83-76.
Number 2, men's tennis, United Cup, Adrian Manarino versus Federico Correa. Break point, Manarino runs all the way to the back of the court, hits this tweener shot for the point. Correa saves it. Look at this, Manarino running all the way back, hitting it between his legs for the point. Manarino wins it in straight sets.
But our top play from Friday from the NBA, Jazz and Kings. Lauri Markkanen gets the pass. Oh, he hangs in the air and turns Domantas Sabonis into a poster. My, oh my.
My goodness.
Yes.
It's the number 1 play, the last one for the year.
Okay, that was a pretty good play to end on.
But there's more of us coming up on ESPN2.
Nice. So what's coming up next?
College game days. A couple big games to watch tonight.
Hey, where are you going? Come back. Come back.
New Year's Eve 2022, also the day of the college football playoff semifinals. This starts in the desert. Michigan back in the playoffs, second straight year, but not just happy to be there this time. They want to be the victors. TCU is a 200-1 shot in the preseason by a Warrior, a new quarterback. The Horned Frogs want respect. In Atlanta tonight, about 70 miles or so from Georgia's campus, the reigning national champions dreaming of back-to-back titles. But standing in the way is a wounded Ohio State team. They got a late reprieve from the governor, brought back from extinction to have a shot tonight against the Dogs. And everybody's playing for the national championship trophy. But to claim that one, you've got to earn that shot today in the semifinals.
Good morning, Atlanta!
College Game Day, live from Atlanta, Georgia, is built by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
What a way to ring out 2022. This is the bracket for the 9th edition of the College Football Playoff this afternoon. Michigan and TCU will start, and then tonight, Georgia and Ohio State. Semifinals historically haven't been that competitive. Only 3 of the previous 16 have been decided by single digits. But you get the feeling that maybe this one particularly is going to be tight, and TCU believes that they have a great opportunity as well. Glad to have you with us. Happy New Year, just a little bit early. Reese Davis alongside Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, Pat Matter again. But Michigan and TCU are playing for the first time. Georgia and Ohio State meeting for just the second time.
And let me give you a history lesson.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
29 years ago, Georgia beat Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl.
They did.
Ohio State's captain and quarterback was Kirk Herbstreit.
Stop it.
Really? Herbie.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
We took it out that day.
Where did the time go? 29 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's not fair. Well, it's just great to be back to see these two teams go at it again. Anytime the Big Ten and the SEC get together, it's always fun. And Des, to me, the long layoff. Who handles that the best to get themselves to peak at the right time?
Yeah, you think about teams that have been here before, like Georgia, obviously, and Michigan a year ago. So now, especially Michigan, they're like, okay, we learned from last year. We played in the Orange Bowl. Now, but you're looking at TCU. How are they going to handle this? Not only the layoff, but everything that comes with being in the college football playoff, all the interviews, the time requests that are asked of you. Yeah. How's TCU going to handle that?
Yeah, and I think that's a worthy question. Sonny Dykes yesterday in his press conference, sitting right next to Jim Harbaugh, actually said, we only have 5 guys that have any bowl experience. Well, welcome to the biggest game. I haven't got a chance to experience this yet. I was just in the production room downstairs. Everybody is here, and we got to remember, 130 teams started this road at the bottom of the mountain. Now only 4 are left. All the off-season workouts, all the sickness, all the puking, all the commitment, all the dedication. We got 4 teams left, Coach. This is a massive ordeal. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I think we got 2 great games today, Reese.
Yeah, we have first time we have 2 Big Ten teams in the playoff. First time we have 2 teams that did not win their conference championships, and we also have 2 teams coming off losses, which has shown to be motivators in past playoff situations. We have this thing covered from Atlanta to the greater Phoenix area and everywhere in between. We have reporters following everyone. Laura Rutledge and Holly Rowe with us here in Atlanta. Molly McGrath and Tiffany Blackman are at the Fiesta Bowl. We will hear the latest from the teams coming up in a matter of moments. Let's start with the game in Atlanta tonight. The Peach Bowl, Georgia and Ohio State, not quite ready for the ultimate mic drop yet. Stetson Bennett, couple of wins away. But how good has he been in the biggest games? Look at those numbers against teams that finished ranked in the top 25. Yes, you can call him. He'll deliver. Here's his secret weapon. Nobody in the country has more 70-yard touchdowns than Brock Bowers. And if Vlad McConkey's not able to go watch him handing it to him, pass is batted down. Oh, but Georgia can get pressure. How about big Jalen Carter in the middle? Even they might send tackles to help. And Holly Rowe with us here in Atlanta. Molly McGrath and Tiffany Blackman are at the Fiesta Bowl. We will hear the latest from the teams coming up in a matter of moments. Let's start with the game in Atlanta tonight. The Peach Bowl been in the biggest games. Look at those numbers against teams that finished ranked in the top 25. Yes, you can call him. He'll deliver. Here's his secret weapon. Nobody in the country has more 70-yard touchdowns than Brock Bowers. And if Vlad McConkey's not able to go watch him handing it to him, throwing screens tonight. But the Buckeyes can get some pressure, and Stetson's been known to have some passes batted down. Oh, but Georgia can get pressure. How about big Jalen Carter in the middle? Even they might send tackles to help. Look what he did to Jaden Daniels, reminding everybody, yeah, we're still number 1, pal. We're still number 1. But here's Ohio State's advantage, and they're going to try it. Marvin Harrison, for my money, best receiver in the country. You know Georgia's going to try to press him. That might not work out well necessarily for the Dogs. They're going to have to give him some help. Harrison is an elite player. We've got Laura and Holly covering the 2 teams. Laura is with the reigning champions, and we'll start there.
Yeah, Reese, believe it or not, Kirby Smart actually has the #1 Bulldogs believing and convinced that they're disrespected. He said his message to this team was, why should Ohio State have an advantage because they lost their last game? He said, no, forget that. That's disrespectful to you guys who won the SEC championship and continued dominance throughout this season. Now, one of the things here is you got to think reverse psychology sometimes works for motivation, but either way, this Georgia team will tell you they're motivated no matter what because of the comparisons to last year's championship team. And along those lines, Stetson Bennett says he feels this year he's more confident, he's more in control. A lot of the differences in their offense have to do with his maturity at the position, and one of the big keys there is the comfort factor with his leading receiver, Ladd McConkey. McConkey has practiced all week. He's dealing with both knees being injured, but he will be available today.
A passionate and emotional speech to his team this week. His message, rarely in life do you get a second chance. How will you handle yours? He was so emotional. He said, it might be corny, but I still want to impact these young men's lives and help them handle adversity. He also told them a very poignant story about what real adversity looks like. After going on a children's hospital visit this week here in Atlanta, he met a parent who had been just told that their child might have only a few hours left to live. He said, that's real adversity. We need to remember that and go out and have fun and enjoy what we're doing. CJ Stroud has embraced that message. His quarterback has started leading in a way that he hadn't all season long. Players told me he's had an edge. He's holding them accountable and making them really do their job in practice each and every time. And last but not least, they are going to come to this stadium. By the end of the show, you'll see the Buckeyes out on the field here today. They are going to come for what's kind of like a play date. Get out of the hotel room, get moving around on this field, have fun, and live some life before they lock in and get that edge for tonight. Reese?
And I'll cut quarterback, but boy, did he seize the job in the last two games. He has been deadly down the field against Ohio State and Purdue, but Michigan wants to run. Blake Corum's out, as you know, but Donovan Edwards, his last two games, sensational. His hand injury is much better, and that offensive line is elite. They're 7th in the country in rushing offense. Both teams have been great in the second half. A lot of that is because TCU's started at the beginning of the season. Quentin Johnston, 5 connections of 50 yards or more. You know how many of those Michigan's allowed this year? One. One. Because they've got elite cornerback play. This freshman, Will Johnson, is a big-time star, and he will be tested tonight by those fast and big TCU receivers. Molly and Tiffany are covering the Fiesta Bowl. Let's start with Molly, who is with Michigan.
Well, Reese, I'm here at Michigan's team hotel, and it's still dark outside, but you can see the silhouettes of giant men starting to walk around, and players tell me they can't sleep because they've been looking forward to this moment ever since last year's semifinal loss. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy told me that moment changed this team and ignited a fire that never existed before, and that fire was stoked last night. Before bed, the team watched a motivational video voiced by NFL Hall of Famer and Michigan national champion Steve Hutchinson, and that video began with images of the team walking off to win a Big Ten championship and finally win a national title. It then ended with a message saying the job is not finished. Now for more on TCU, here's Tiffany Blackman.
Molly, it was lights out at 10 o'clock for the Horned Frogs last night, and in about an hour they'll get that wake-up call followed by breakfast. Their schedulers have never been to a bowl game before, so there's been an emphasis on keeping music has been some players even dancing, and in Friday's final practice, what they called a full-speed run-through, well, Coach Dykes told me that his guys looked fast, fresh, and Reese, he said he liked the mature approach they took to this week.
Hey, Tiffany, that wake-up call is key because the Horned Frogs have had this habit of getting behind. They've got 5 wins when trailing in the second half. Nobody in the country has more than that. We'll hear more from our reporter
Reporters throughout the morning on this edition of College Game Day.
Earned their opportunity to be in the college football playoff. And for me, the team they're playing against is just so fantastically old school. You know, they lose last year. Harbaugh's conversation around him, where's he going to go, what's he going to do? They restack, bring back that offensive line that wins the Joe Moore Award 2 years in a row, and they pound the rock. If you listen to anything Michigan's saying out of any of their press conferences, and we'll go J.J. McCarthy more specifically, J.J. McCarthy was asked, what do you see from that TCU defense? He said, well, if they're going to run that 3-3-5, Kirk, I see a lot of smashing. I see our team going old school power football. We're going to bring the Big Ten to the Big 12. That game's got a lot of big bodies and old school football. Cannot wait to watch it in Arizona.
Interesting to me, the psychological warfare. Yeah. You know, you have two heavy favorites that are trying to get their team to make sure they respect their opponent after 30 days of hearing how great you are, and you're too physical for TCU, and Georgia, you're too good and too fast. And so these coaches are trying to kind of put that to bed. What I think, Pat, you're talking about, I think TCU brings their own version of physicality. All this talk about Michigan, and you're right, they're from the Big Ten, and Jim Harbaugh is old school. But don't sleep on TCU and just think, oh, they're just a fast team. I've watched them all year. We've done a lot of their games. They're at the line of scrimmage, especially their offensive line, 6'5", 310 pounds. They're back. Kendra Miller gets downhill and lowers his shoulder pads, gets behind his pads. So I don't think it's a speed game in that particular game against the power of Michigan, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you, but the only problem I see with TCU is when they do get behind early. Now you're dealing with a Michigan team. This is a Big Ten team that they don't mind running the ball, bleeding the clock. See, when TCU played in the Big 12, they didn't have to worry about possessions because everybody played fast. So they were going to get multiple possessions. If they were down double digits, they didn't care. You get down double digits against Michigan, they will bleed the clock. We're talking about 12-play, 8-minute drives, and then they're limiting the possessions of TCU. That's the only thing that I will be worried about if I'm a Horned Frog. You can't get behind by many points against Michigan because they have no problem bleeding the clock, Coach.
Yeah. In my opinion, two key factors jumped out when I studied Georgia and Ohio State. One, Georgia leads the nation in red zone scoring and defense.
Wow.
And two, Ohio State's first game in this stadium, whereas Georgia's played 2 games in the stadium against ranked teams and beat them 99-33.
Wow! Look at that margin.
Michigan, and Ohio State. Ohio State has 2 chances in this game. None and none.
Oh, wow.
Not even
slim, huh?
None and none. Slim's out of the picture.
Slim is out of the equation. Wow. We've got a ton more. Come on, Coach.
You know how it works. You know how it works.
This is early. They guys are watching this, too. Yeah. Trying to fire them up a little bit. So much more coming on College Game Day this morning. Hey, don't forget, in New Orleans, immediately following game day, Alabama and Kansas State, Bryce Young, Will Anderson both playing, flying in the face of normal convention. We're going to talk about that phenomena.
$5.
And it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Brilliant!
Well, you would know.
I'm switching.
I think the bike's probably faster.
Now is the best time to switch to Verizon for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. The savings that last on the network you want. Verizon.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz. See your dealer for exceptional offers on Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles.
I've got that blue sky
I've got that sunshine.
Sailing a great river past extraordinary landscapes into the heart of iconic cities is a journey for the curious traveler, one that many have yet to discover. Exploring with Viking brings you closer to the world, to the history, the culture, the flavors. A serene river voyage on an elegant Viking longship. Learn more at Viking.com.
On an eerie Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Said you want a new coach, right? Behold, the coaching carousel.
33! Drive! Hit the hole! Don't dance
So
to
how
it!
do you pick? You don't. It picks for you.
42X out!
A esto le dicen fútbol. That's the international soccer coach.
Esto es fútbol! The wrong football!
El fútbol de Dr. Pepper.
Go State!
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
For muscle cramps and spasms, TheraWorks Relief works fast. So get back at it.
TheraWorks works.
For fast muscle relief, TheraWorks works. Available in stores everywhere.
Last year, I got stuck paying for my ex's internet for months before I finally caught it. That won't happen again in 2023, thanks to Rocket Money. Rocket Money finds hidden subscriptions, and you can cancel the ones you don't want with one tap. Join Rocket Money today.
With Instacart, shoppers shop for you like you shop for you. Shoppers have your Instacart order in the bag.
Critics are saying you've never seen anything like Avatar: The Way of Water.
I need you to be strong.
Experience the #1 movie in the world for yourself. Avatar: The Way of Water. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
The Rose Bowl game, presented by Prudential. In their return to the granddaddy of them all, the Pac-12 champion Utes face the high-octane Nittany Lions. Penn State, Utah. Monday at 5 on ESPN.
College Game Day is built by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. And in part by Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Georgia and Ohio State players racing go-karts. What I really want to know is who's physical enough to put somebody into the wall of voodoo there. Just wreck them. Georgia won the Family Feud. There was no winner there. From Florida's beautiful First Coast in Jacksonville, Tech Slayer Gator Bowl, South Carolina, and Notre Dame. How about Beamer Ball? David Pollock is joining us.
I mean, unreal. Just shift. You had to like this.
Punter and throwing a touchdown. I love it. Beamer Ball in full effect early.
How about Notre Dame not going away?
Exactly. They were way behind. Yeah. Logan Diggs giving the Irish a 38-31 lead. Tyler Buckner started the game at quarterback for the Irish. Really good, but he had some tough moments. He's ready to put the game away here. Picked off by O'Donnell Fortune, who finds good fortune, who finds tied at 38, but
he's a gas. Give me the oxygen tank.
Old Notre Dame. Michael Mayer didn't play. Doesn't mean Notre Dame doesn't have a tight end.
That's right.
Capital One Orange Bowl. Tennessee and Clemson. Joe Milton, Jamarcus Russell, John Elway, Jeff.
How far this one goes?
Dude, arm down.
Flick of the wrist.
You bet I do.
It's just a flicking and accuracy. Man, he did it nice. Is there any Clemson highlights on here? Do we have any of those on here? No.
Well, that's going to be a problem in the offseason, by the way.
We're just talking Clemson all year. Look at this. Care about that. Did you see the ball coming out at 900 miles an hour?
I mean, you might as well put him in the top 5 next year with the way he's talking about him.
Well, that's incredible.
I will, actually.
Throwing. You know what? Michigan has 989 wins. You know, Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach, but his rep has been that he has a shelf life. He resurrected Stanford from absolutely nothing, yet when he left the farm, there weren't a lot of tears shed that he was going to go away. He took the 49ers to the Super Bowl, and when he left there were plenty of people in that administration willing to help him pack. And then there was, for a while at Michigan, plenty of Michigan men and women who were ready for a divorce. But boy, the last 2 years of reconciliation have been absolutely glorious. Maybe he's more self-aware, maybe he's more open, but true to the Michigan credo, he stayed and he is a champion. And he spoke with Gene Wojciechowski.
Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, undefeated. A national championship is in the front of their minds.
What, if anything, has been a defining moment, do you think, for this team?
You know, if you talk about this team, I mean, it's everybody, players, coaches, everybody pulls the same direction and bleeds blue.
You didn't mention you in any of that.
Oh, well, I don't.
The way that you wanted to build it.
My job, you know, if something goes wrong, something goes bad, then I'm a bad manager. Something goes good, then, you know, that's everybody else. I like that job. When it goes bad, it's my fault because there's really there's no competition for that job. So I'm always going to have a job.
We are in the midst of watching a Michigan implosion.
Absolutely unacceptable for a Michigan team that was expected to compete for a national title.
Have you coached to prove people wrong these last 2 years?
No, it's been nothing but a happy mission. This has been, it's not a grim mission. It's not an angry mission. You know, our focus is on this game against TCU. It's going to be a big task, big challenge, and as we like to say, onward.
Well, this happy Michigan finally. Now, they have lost 5 straight bowl games, something they'd like to turn around today. And I love the happy mission line. What's the biggest difference? What's changed?
I tell you what, you start with the athletic director, Ward Manuel. You have to keep in mind a few years ago when Michigan was struggling, especially during the pandemic season, everybody came at Harbaugh. They wanted him fired. We're talking about alumni, boosters, fans. No one wanted Harbaugh. But when you have a seasoned athletic director like Ward Manuel, he sees the big picture. He understands what's going on. He sat down man-to-man with Jim Harbaugh. Not only did they restructure the contract, but he also talked about his managing style, the skills that he brought as a head coach that he needed to now relinquish some of those, hire better staff. He brought in Mike McDonald. He brought in Jesse Mentor when Mike McDonald left. He elevated Sharon Moore's OC, and he let them coach. So not only did he restructure the contract, but he changed his managing style because that stuff trickles down. When there's a lot of tension and a lot of angst, it trickles down 100%. To the players. So once he relieved that, you see Jim, now he's a happier coach. They're having fun. He's enjoying himself. And then after games, David, what I like is that he doesn't want to do the interview.
Never.
Here, talk to JJ. Talk to JJ. Yeah, like that. So it's just a different Jim Harbaugh.
You know, it's a different Jim Harbaugh, but the cool thing is he did it his way. Like when you talk about, you know, football and spread and tempo and all the stuff that we talk about all the time. Is Jim Harbaugh doing that?
No, sir.
Or is he bringing it in tight and saying, I will hit you right in the throat? So I think it's interesting because I don't know what changed. I really don't. I mean, it switched, and the players, you could tell, relate to him really, really well, and something changed big time over this because it looked like for a while it was going to be fleeting and it was going to be an empty mission for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, but he got it together, and the physicality that he plays with, and the team plays with now, they look like Ohio State used to look like. They look like the bully on the block, which is pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%. You look fantastic. It is great to see you. I blow dried my chest hair to make it sit out there. But you look amazing. And to your point about Jim Harbaugh changing and it being different and being old school and being like kind of an independent thought, he's not going to get bullied into anything. He took a pay cut a couple years ago. Yep. That's where he was at. And I think if I listen to the people that know best in the football world, the authority, Pete Thamel and ever, Michigan told him, you're either going to take a pay cut or we'll move on. Just like Stanford had done. Just like Sam Fran had done, to Reese Davis's point. So I think he's matured as well. And that's kind of tough to talk about because he's an adult who's accomplished so much. But I think he has matured through all of his situations of the past where it's like, hey, it doesn't have to end with me hating you, you hating me. Let's moving on and going and have success elsewhere. Right. Losing a college football playoff last year. This year, there's no distraction about him going to the NFL, him going anywhere else. It seems like everything is all aligned with this team making a run, and I think that's a great show of maturity. Not that I need to be the one pointing that out for anybody, but that's what I see out of Harbaugh, I think.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me, Des, is I see an identity.
Yeah.
You know, I just think that to what David said, they haven't had an offensive line in a long time that can just control the game. And I know they're known for that, going back to the Bo days. But since Rich Rod was there all the way till about 3 years ago, when Sharon Moore was elevated to come in and take over that offensive line, they haven't had it. Remember when Shea Patterson came in from Ole Miss and Josh Gaddis came in, and it was like, oh, they're going to really show people that they can play out in space. Those days are gone. Now they are about beating people up, but they also have skill. They haven't had speed like they have now. They're recruiting better. They're developing. And you're right. They're having fun because they're winning, but they have an identity now.
You know what? They're an elite program. I think that's one of the things that Ohio State has had trouble with because they've dominated them for so long. They lost to a really good team.
Yep.
I mean, it happens from time to time. And one of the things that's really worked for Michigan is they have a quarterback that Harbaugh, who remember was a first-round draft pick as a player, who says, reminds me of a young Jim Harbaugh, except he's better than I ever was. Just since J.J. McCarthy, that might be the highest praise you can get from your coach, right, Jess?
Absolutely, Reese. Yes. Well, speaking of Coach Harbaugh's success, has been a huge part of it has been the decision to start J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. Now, people always say there's a lot behind the smile on someone's face, but for J.J. McCarthy, there's also a lot behind the smile on the back of his hand.
Did you see McCarthy's left hand? He's drew a smiley face on there.
The smiley face goes back to my sophomore year in high school. It was after my first loss, and it wasn't a good game by myself by any means. And this little girl comes up to me when I was signing autographs. She kind of asked me a couple questions like, why were you so mad out there? Why were you not having fun? Have some fun out there. And she drew a smiley face on my hand. From then on, I just kind of kept the smiley face as a reminder. What kind of started off as just an initial positive change in some subtle way kind of stemmed into a foundation that I created with JJ for the kids and just being able to create positive change throughout the world. But the main focus point was kind of kids with cancer and kids that haven't been given the privileges that me and my teammates have. The more I put that message of positivity out there, the more lives are going to be changed for the better.
It's the little things that make a huge difference, just like this. And this smile is going to get quite a bit wider with the semifinals win today. So do not go anywhere. College Game Day has so much more coming up right after the break. We got the rest of the playoff coaches joining the show, live interviews with Ryan Day, Sonny Dykes, and Kirby Smart on the semifinals Saturday. And Marty Smith caught up with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Sr. to talk about what it was like to carry the weight of a shared name and a football legacy. Don't go anywhere. It's all coming up right here on College Game Day.
I told him, when you go to school, don't follow the guy in front of you. The guy in front of you didn't have me as his coach for 13 years. Do what I've been telling you to do and you'll be fine.
$200 instantly, just for betting $5. DraftKings, listen to me. You listen good. I appreciate you for recognizing how valuable my time is. But instantly, stop. You're not gonna make me sweat a little bit? Feel some extra bumps in my chest while the game is going on? Oh, look, wait a minute. There's my $200. That was fast.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet just $5 to get 200 in free bets instantly. Action so good, why bet NFL anywhere else?
Touchdown. Nah, interception.
Look at that freshly sliced turkey. At Jersey Mike's, there's some things you just gotta see. Like those lovebirds over there. That's deep eating. Sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
It's Tim Tebow in a Verbo, where you get the whole place to yourself. So it's always just you and your Gators.
Disguises are so much fun, unless they're in your kibble. Chicken meal? That's icky birdie bits processed into powder. It's time for Fresh Pet. Wholesome ingredients with nothing to hide. Fresh Pet.
Andor is one of the year's best shows, nominated for 2 Critics' Choice Awards and a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Television Series Drama. Star Wars Andor, all episodes now streaming.
Restless nights fogging up your day? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin to help you fall asleep naturally, plus extended release B vitamins. Wake up feeling refreshed. Pure Z's. Sleep better, wake up your best.
Every time you order a hot sub from Jersey Mike's, it's grilled fresh. Call it dinner and a show. Look at that sizzle. Grilled right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing.
The Wolverines seek playoff redemption against the fearless Frogs. Then, the reigning Dogs versus the second chance Buckeyes. For college football playoff semifinals on ESPN,
Trent.
Trent. Will Trent.
Name?
Special Agent Will Trent.
Will can teach you to see things that no one else does.
I bet I can solve this tonight.
He's good police, and he's objectively hot.
Boom.
Will Trent premieres Tuesday on ABC.
Never be afraid of your strength. Because your body is capable of amazing things. The one they said you shouldn't have. The one driven by a power they can't see. Own your strength and see how far it takes you. Tono, be your strongest.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. Carby cravings can be hard to curb. Try to say that 10 times fast. With your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep better and balance your hunger and fullness hormones. So if it gets hard to curb your cravings and keep those appetite hormones balanced. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger.
Well, what has been a dream season to date for Ohio State is going to end the regular season portion of it with disappointment.
Losses are your best teachers. It made us even that more hungry, just put a bigger chip on our shoulder.
It kind of helps you see and bring to light all the things that are going wrong in the program.
You know, it can come down to 1 play, 2 plays, 3 plays in a game. We have got to play every single play like our hair's on fire.
People want to say good, people want to say the ugly, sad, so it's not nothing we're scared of anymore. So gotta just lick our wounds and make sure that we learn from our mistakes and move on.
It was not a typical performance for the Buckeyes against Michigan. Now, the Wolverines certainly had a lot to do with that, but you look at the difference in points per game, the number of yards they allowed, third down percentage, all kinds of things that their defense didn't do quite as well as it had in other games this season. And they are sick to death of hearing about Michigan, I'm sure, and the head coach of the Buckeyes, Ryan Day, kind enough to join us now. So, Ryan, this is a second chance, a reprieve. How would you describe what the opportunity for redemption means to your team?
I've just been really pleased with the way our team has worked over the last month, the preparation they put in to get to this point. You know, the focus has been on Georgia. There's certainly been a lot of noise and a lot of things that we've learned, but the focus has been on preparing for this game, and it started back in Columbus and continued down here in Atlanta. You know, going to be a long day here as we prepare to play in this game. We've been waiting for, feels like forever to play this game, but and the great thing is all that matters is what goes on in the field. Yeah. And I know there's not a lot of people that you know, are giving us a chance to win this game, but I can tell you the guys are really excited about playing in this.
Hey, Coach, these games always with such great players, especially individually, it always comes down to matchups. What do you see in this game, maybe specific matchups that you think could ultimately decide the outcome of this game?
Well, I think it's across the board. It's every matchup. You know, I mean, certainly there's the high-profile matchups, you know, on the perimeter and, you know, up front, but it's every matchup. Every guy on the field's got to win their one-on-one matchup, period. And they got to win it every single play, because when you're playing games like this, every inch, every play is to the utmost importance, and it's going to be a fist fight every play. So while there are some, you know, more, I guess, high-profile matchups that are going to be critically important, to me, it's every single guy on that field. And it may be on special teams, it may be, you know, on third down. You just never know when that's going to be. So we got to do a great job of winning every single matchup and understand that games like this could come down to 1 or 2 plays. And I think that's what got us in the last game. Too many explosive plays that got the game out of hand. So we have to understand that, and we for last month, but we got to win our one-on-one matchups.
Coach, congrats. You're one of the Final Four teams in college football. Let's go. That is certainly means to celebrate. And I know it's been a long 35 days, and obviously today's another one on top of that. Holly Rowe reported earlier that C.J. Stroud took initiative in his leadership during this 35-day break. What have you seen from him? How has the team reacted? And what's the vibe of that locker room getting ready for this game?
I mean, he's the leader of this team, and it isn't just C.J., it's everybody on the team that has worked very hard. They know what the opportunity is here. They know what's in front of us. And what we know the last month has hurt. It has, but it's motivated our team. And, you know, I think you can feel it at practice every day. And we're going to go and swing as hard as we can, because, you know, there was a week there where we didn't have anything. And when that gets taken away from you, it gives you a different perspective as you go back to work over the next month. And we know we have a huge challenge in Georgia. But that's kind of the way we want it. You know, in their backyard, going down here, it's going to be a hard game. We get it, defending national champs and all those types of things. But we're going to swing as hard as we can in this game, and CJ's our leader, and he's going to lead the way.
Hell yeah.
I know that you've been in the building before, but you're going to bring the team over in an hour or so. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? Why are you bringing them over here this early before the game, at least for a visit, quick visit?
Well, you know, I was doing bed check last night, and I think it was 9:30, and there was 9 minutes to go in the second quarter of the Clemson-Tennessee game, and they started about the same time we're going to start tonight. I just felt like it's going to be a long day, and just being around the hotel all day isn't a great idea, so we're going to kind of get them out of the hotel, get them moving around over there, stretch out, kind of a shoot around, for lack of a better term, and then head back to the hotel and do our routine.
If any of them want to come up and rush the set while they're here, it's perfectly fine. Just send them right on up.
That's right.
All right. Best of luck tonight. Thank you for spending some time with us this morning.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, Ryan Day, head coach of the Buckeyes, 45-5. Hey, Marvin Harrison Jr., that's one of the matchups that Ohio State certainly can win. The 37th unanimous All-American in Ohio State history. You know, he basically broke the robotic quarterback in their football building this year, catching so many passes. So can you imagine what he probably does to defensive backs trying to cover him in terms of breaking their confidence? Marty Smith is with us. Harrison's brilliant play runs and catches in the family, Marty.
Reese, good morning. Happy New Year, everyone. Marvin Harrison, the Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver and former Super Bowl champion with the Indianapolis Colts, was on the phone earlier this season with his son, Marvin Jr. They were going over some deficiencies that they both felt like they'd found in Junior's game. As Senior spoke, he heard scribbling on the other end of the line. Junior was writing down every single word. Senior couldn't believe what he was hearing, but it was at that moment that Senior knew. All of the work, all of the love, all of the passion, all of the drive had clicked, and Junior was ready to run the family business.
Hey, how's it going? How are you? Marvin, you get your toes on that tee there. I have your toes right there. Thank you, boss. And looking to me. Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, take one marker.
End zone, caught, touchdown, Marvin Harrison Jr., an Ohio State touchdown.
Stroud to Harrison again, money in the bank.
What do you believe your ceiling is?
My goal is to be the best receiver to ever play.
Harrison all the way to the house for Ohio State.
Everyone I speak with discusses your work ethic.
Yep.
Where does that come from?
I think it's just in me. Obviously, I've seen how my dad worked and where he got to, so just trying to follow his footsteps. One thing he always said was, like, practice is like Super Bowl for him, so for me right now, every practice, I'm trying to go out there like it's the national championship.
The Colts are world champions for the first time since 1971.
When did you first realize that your dad was an NFL player?
Probably that's the Super Bowl.
It was a special time, and to be able to do two things at once, win a Super Bowl and have your kid involved with it, that's one of the biggest things, biggest moments.
I just remember the confetti coming down, being on the field, and just being happy for him.
What comes with having a Hall of Fame father?
I don't know, it's tough. People always say, he don't act like you when he scored a touchdown. I'm like, well, he's got different swagger. But I want him to play the game and have fun. And I think he's doing it.
Just focus on myself, putting the work in, and trying to be the best football player that I can be.
Harrison in the end zone, got it.
Touchdown, Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison Jr.'s third touchdown of the game.
And Manning going for 6. And he is a wide open Harrison.
What's one part of your game that you think your dad wishes he'd had?
Definitely my height. I'm like 4 inches taller than him, so I think he wished he could be 6'4".
I don't think I needed anything else, but there is one thing that I wish he had from my game. You got to complain for ball. You got to complain. Monday morning, if I have 5 catches, 70 yards, we can't do nothing else till we have a meeting because I'm not getting the ball. That's it. Throw me the ball, period.
Be a bigger diva. That's the advice for your kid. Be the bigger diva. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is not something that happens overnight. I'm very thankful and very gracious that, that this has happened.
What do you remember about your father's Hall of Fame induction day?
I'm finally getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. It was definitely a special moment. And he gave me a little shout out in his speech, so that was pretty nice.
Retirement was easy for one reason. I have 2 sons, Marvin and Jet. Come home and be your coach, be your father, and be your friend. There's no other feeling in the world that I'd rather do than to come home to you guys. what's more important? Do I want to continue to play football, or do I want to go home and guide my kids to be the best men they can be and the best players they can be? It was simple. See ya, I'm late, I'm gone.
Marvin Harrison, touchdown on a 42-yard pass play.
I told him, when you go to school, don't follow the guy in front of you. The guy in front of you didn't have me as his coach for 13 years. Do what I've been telling you to do and you'll be fine.
Everybody kind of expects you to be just as good, if not better than he is, but I'm just trying to be the best person that I can be for myself.
He can achieve whatever he wants. As long as he continues to stay on this right path, I think the sky's the limit.
For greater perspective on what it's like to be the namesake of a Hall of Fame father while also chasing the same passion he did professionally, I called up an old friend Friday night, NASCAR star Dale Earnhardt Jr. And Dale told me it's amazing and humbling to carry on the legend and the legacy of your father. But with it comes an innate responsibility, an innate pressure, an innate desire to be great, because you never want to embarrass the family name. With the kindness he shows others, with the unbelievable work ethic that everyone with whom I spoke about Marvin Harrison Jr. mentioned, and with the passion he competes with, there's no doubt he is carrying on his father's name wonderfully. Reese?
Big Marty out there getting it done.
And the potential to elevate
Marty.
that name, too. MegaCast, we always have it for the college football playoff semifinals. Any platform you want, TV, radio, digital. So many ways to follow Michigan, TCU, Georgia, and Ohio State. What I want you to focus on is ESPN2, the Field Pass with the Pat McAfee Show, presented by Mercedes-Benz. And they're down on the field right now, Pat.
Hey, thank you, Reese. Yeah, we're going to try to make the television on Earth this evening live from this field right here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We'll be walking around during the game, calling it on ESPN2 as Fowler and Herb Street do their Emmy award-winning call on ESPN. We appreciate the hell out of you. Here's the boys. Darius Butler, 9-year NFL vet, played corner, nickel, and safety in the league. Part of NFL matchups on ESPN on my show every single day. Played at UConn. That team stinks, but they're coming back.
Okay.
Stanford
Relax,
Steve
relax,
here.
relax.
Former tight end for Stanford, obviously been working with ESPN since 2004. We love Bear. Hey, we're going to miss Bear.
Big time.
But this guy's big brain is a great one. I can't wait to see what he does, not only with Game Day, but tonight on the MegaCast. And this man right here, wearing a Wolf T-shirt underneath a sport coat. He works for me full-time. He is not a man that's ever played any college football. No NFL football at all. But he does get yelled at and dunked on by 8-year-olds on our show every single day that make it to TMZ. So, Connor, I will talk to you. Your feet are on the field of a college football playoff game tonight.
Hollow ground.
This is a moment that you could have never expected to be in. Take it in, enjoy it. But what are you excited about this evening, Connor?
I mean, Pat, like you said, I have the IQ of a goldfish, so I'm not really taking all of this in strictly because there's so much. The moment is huge. And when we're talking about the college football playoff, we're talking about teams cementing their legacy in the history books. And we're going to get that here. We're going to get that over in Arizona, and I could not be more jacked.
Yeah, Connor has a lot of energy. Okay, he's from the Boston area. He is a mass hole times 20, and he's living an absolute dream. Speaking of dreams, D-Bud.
Yeah.
Not only is this a dream of all of ours to see you break down good football because of how big your football IQ is. Everybody from Bill Belichick to all the great minds of the game say you're smart. What piqued your interest as you were looking at this game this evening here at the Peach Bowl?
You know where you make your money, and this college level is the red area, red zone, right? The disparity between these teams in the red area, Georgia number 1, 120 is where Ohio State is ranked,
teams.
which is nuts in the red area, so that'd be big. And then Marvin Harrison matching up with Ringo on the outside. Got a close eye on that matchup.
Yeah, Ringo's a guy for the Georgia defense. I think we're going to break him down a little bit later. And when you talk about Marvin Harrison Jr., we just heard the great Marty Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty with that faux hawk, that southern accent, the great Jays, getting Marvin Harrison to speak on camera, that never happens. I enjoyed him saying, hey, listen, when you get to Ohio State, don't listen to any of those guys.
No, listen to me.
I taught you for 13 years. I'm in the Hall of Fame. He has showed up day one and made a big-time impact. Stanford Steve, 6.5-point spread one game, 7.5-point spread the other game. What's the story of the day in your big brain, pal?
The underdogs. In the history of the playoff, Pat, we've had blowouts all over the place. Year after year, the underdogs have to come. And you think about the motivation they have. Ohio State, you just heard Ryan Day talk about it, right? We're going to play the number 1 team in the country, the defending national champion in their home state.
A lot of people people barking here tonight.
They got a second chance to be in the playoff. What else could you ask for? TCU on the other side, you got the biggest brand. You're playing against the biggest brand in the sport in Michigan. What else can you ask for? Unbelievable season. We need the underdogs to show up today.
Yeah,
they have motivation. Do it on the field. Prove yourself.
TC, go ahead.
Does Ryan Day always look that pissed? Is that him?
Bro, yeah, he was on the show. I asked him. I said to him the last time he came on the show, I said, did you guys lay an egg against Michigan? And immediately I saw his face go, a bit disrespectful. Is that right? But it was real because the way he laid out the game, they thought they were in it until late when they gave up a couple explosives. So I don't know if I rubbed him the wrong way or if that's how he operates. But Ohio, he's going to have a lot of pressure. Speaking of the underdogs, we haven't really chatted about TCU much. Great story. Sonny Dykes has 5 guys that have been in bowl games. Max Duggan is a dog. We need to talk about that, I think.
Love Max Duggan. Probably should have won the Heisman. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's just because I like the guy. Offensive line coach for Kansas State said, you know what? Duggan's more of a offensive line. Inside a quarterback, you can't argue with that. And you saw him put the team on his back against Kansas State. Let Duggan cook.
Yeah, Duggan's a dog. And the last thing on that game, D-Bud, I'm going to ask you, and obviously you're familiar with all types of defensive schemes, have played all over the place. 3-3-5 is something that J.J. McCarthy talked about. When he was asked in the press, hey, what do you see from that TCU defense? He said they were on a 3-3-5. You're going to see a lot of smashing. 2-time Joe Moore award-winning offensive line. They're not scared to ride that. How does TCU combat that, you think?
Hey, they better stop. They better win first and second down, right? And let those 5 DBs be able to fly around and make plays when the offense is behind the stick. So that's the key to this game. If they don't, it can get ugly and get ugly quick.
Pick a game, Stanford.
Oh, man, pressure. TCU.
Whoa!
Here we go. The first half is absolutely enormous for TCU. You just talked about it, 3-3-5. They have to do something to adjust to help them against the run. Michigan's going to walk up and think they're just going to maul them. TCU has to make an adjustment there. The first half is huge because Duggan's going to have to feel some things out too.
Oh, yeah.
The defense for TCU has to keep them in the game in the first half.
We're calling the entire game, so obviously we have to remain non-biased.
Exactly.
Are you points or money line there?
Both.
Let's go. That's a big-time hit for Stanford Steve. Reese, it has been an honor to be on the field. You guys crush it. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your show all year. Back to you, pal.
Connor, good job down there. There it is. All you boys.
Hey, look at this.
Stanford Steve.
Kirk, look at this. Kirk, we say dumb stuff on the internet every day.
You killed that segment. Great job.
Big brains out here, not me, but we are thankful and lucky for the opportunity. And tonight on ESPN2, Herbie, we're not trying to ruin ESPN. That's kind of the goal.
Darius just wants one more third down.
I got one more in me. Just one more, Coach. Come on, Ryan. Put me out there, Coach.
See if they can cover him.
In the boots.
And running in the dress boots, too.
I felt good.
Yeah, you look good. Good hands.
I'm going to say 4.93.
Yeah, in the boots.
Maybe, I don't know. C.J. Stroud faces the toughest test of the season. We'll break down who has the edge in that matchup and what they can do with Big 88 from Georgia. Oh, the transfer portal. They've been busy. Is tampering a big deal, and who wants to do anything about it?
Drake got offered a lot of money to go to different schools. It's tampering. It's 100% tampering.
I heard 2 schools, $5 million. I know to tell you.
Gatorade Fit. Fitness starts from the inside out. Get healthy, real hydration and no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or added colors. Gatorade Fit. Healthy, real hydration today helps you fuel tomorrow.
For muscle cramps and spasms, TheraWorks Relief works fast. So get back at it.
TheraWorks works.
For fast muscle relief, TheraWorks works. Available in stores everywhere.
BlendJet's holiday sale is on now. Save big on the #1 gift this holiday season. The BlendJet 2 portable blender gives you ice-crushing, big blender power on the go. Throw in your favorite ingredients and blend up a delicious smoothie anytime, anywhere. BlendJet 2 even cleans itself. Just add water, a drop of soap, and blend. Recharge quickly with any USB port. Order now from blendjet.com and get our best deal ever.
We got soul. Oh yeah, we got soul.
with the most 5-star cruise reviews on TripAdvisor. Your gorgeous vacation at sea awaits.
Rated T for teen.
Put me in the game.
Miss Rousey. We already have hundreds of champions, so.
Put me in the game.
We should definitely do that. Now, you will need a weapon.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Download Raid Shadow Legends and get the legendary Ronda Rousey champion for free.
I wonder if Instacart can tackle this honeydew list. Need pink for the deck, gear for the kids' track meet, and the essentials. Honeydew list completed. Saturday saved. Visit instacart.com or download the app and get free delivery on your first order.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring on your finger.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Coming tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, Inside the Lines with the game's greatest QBs who share their secrets to diagnosing defenses.
I look at protection. How can I protect what I'm looking at? If I don't have answers, where am I hot?
Plus, Patrick Mahomes wired for sound and one-on-one with Joe Burrow before he faces Josh Allen. Kick off your Sunday with us on NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Back to you in Atlanta.
All right, Sam, our friends at Wheels Up worked with us all year to make sure the celebrity guest pickers make it in for College Game Day, and we appreciate it. Sonny Dykes, Kurt Mart, they'll be with us a little bit later on this morning on College Game Day. And immediately after our show in New Orleans, just the second college football playoff without Alabama. Crimson Tide against Big 12 champion K-State. You know, between them, the two coaches have 11 national championships, Des.
Wow, I tell you what, very surprised, pleasantly surprised, guys, that we got guys like Bryce Young, won the Heisman of 2021. He's going to play, didn't opt out. And, of course, Will Anderson Jr., top 5 pick in the NFL draft in April. He didn't opt out. Going up against Deuce Vaughn, man, he's been one of my favorite players for years. Man, I just love the little Mighty Mouse. But how about Will Howard? What he's brought to that offense, they're more explosive, more dynamic. This is a great game, David.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you want to score a lot of points, turn the television off, okay? This is not going to be high scoring. Great punting. Great punting, great special teams. Iowa, obviously, you're on your third-string quarterback. Labus will take the snaps. Iowa's defense is still Iowa's defense, right? They're great with special teams. Mark Stoops built an unbelievable program. Will Levis, obviously, not going to be there. So a true freshman. Destin Wade will be at quarterback. So a lot of new guys, new faces. Which defense steps up, creates a few turnovers, scores, 12 to 14 points.
Good score on defense.
Yeah.
On special teams.
Well, maybe Kentucky wishes that they could roll Devin Leary out there, quarterback, formerly of North Carolina State. He's headed to Kentucky, where some of the guys have chosen to go. DJ Uiagalelei leaving Clemson, headed to Oregon State. And, of course, Cade McNamara leaving Michigan. He was a starter in the playoff last year and going to Iowa. There are still many good players available in the portal. Maybe Brennan Armstrong would reunite with Robert Anai, who's the OC at NC State now. Sam Hartman seems headed to Notre Dame from Wake Forest. So all of this transfer portal and NIL stuff, you think you can't keep up with all of it? Well, think about this. In 1894, Oregon faced the same player 3 weeks in a row on 3 different teams because people kept poaching him, paying him more money to come play somewhere else the next week. The great Fielding Yost, when he was a coach for a while. And then there's a case of Swarthmore. Swarthmore? who went out and got Bob Tiny Maxwell right off of the University of Chicago and Amos Alonzo Stagg's roster, and then had Tiny's expenses paid by a big Swarthmore alumnus. So you think this is all new? Oh, there is nothing new under the sun when it comes to college football recruiting and casting a wandering eye towards someone else's player.
Have you heard other ridiculous? I mean, it's a joke.
When you have a guy leave your program and go someplace else the day after the game, and I'm not making any accusations, but it makes you wonder.
We had a coach from another school contact one of our players and offer him NIL. A coach.
Drake got offered a lot of money to go to different schools, and it's tampering. It's 100% tampering.
I heard 2 schools, $5 million. I know the schools. I can't tell you.
You know who they are. Look at all the ones that are getting the top recruits.
The ones that keep pushing the rules and breaking them will get rewarded.
If you're not doing it and you're trying to follow the rules, you're at a significant disadvantage.
This isn't new to college football. It's been going on forever. It's just different kind of mechanisms to do it now.
Why can't we get an organization that can oversee 131 Division I schools?
So I just say eliminate all these rules because they're not enforced anyways.
What Dave Clawson says probably as truthful as anything. Pete Thamel joins us now. So, Pete, here's the deal. We just ran like 45 seconds of coaches complaining. What are they willing to do about it?
It's a great question, Reese. You know, the biggest crossroads facing college football right now is the radical way that player acquisition has changed. The collision of neatness and the one-time transfer rule has really changed the way rosters are built. And it's found the sport in what coaches call essentially unregulated free agency. What can be done? Well, talking to coaches and college officials this week, they say that tampering should be easy to enforce. And this summer, the NCAA came forward and encouraged coaches to come out and reveal who is calling who and who is texting who. So far, Reese, the coaches who have the most control over tampering are the ones complaining loudest, but also doing the least.
Too few coaches are willing to self-regulate through the American Football Coaches Association. They feel like it'll put them at a competitive disadvantage. And the tampering thing's hard to nail down, too, because it might not be coach to player. It could be, agent to NIL collective guy or some other type of representative. I don't know if this is an existential crisis. This stuff's been going on forever. It's just out in the open, and it's a little different now.
Yeah, we're in an era now where the old school and new school are kind of combining head-on at a very rapid rate. You know, you said the 1890s old cuz was getting paid to play for somewhere else.
6, you said, right?
Yeah, 1890. And I think in some circles in college football, we've always just assumed that this has been taking place in some places that have been winning, and then others kind of haven't been able to do this. And I think my biggest takeaway from it all is somebody that deals in the digital media space on a regular basis, where a lot of these NIL deals are happening. I think we need guardrails, not only for the coaches and the teams and when you can offer guys, when you can't offer guys, when the transfer portal is open, when it's closed. Like, I think that's an obvious answer. And people hear guardrails and they're like, oh, you're trying to take away from the players. It's like, no, I think there should be guardrails on that side, too. I think there's a lot of bad deals happening right now for a lot of 18-year-olds.
Getting taken advantage of.
Yes, they're 100%. Signing these deals, and then the money's never coming, and they're making lifetime decisions to do this type of stuff. So I think some guardrails would be good for both parties, both the players and the teams. And then I'll be intrigued to find out if you can buy a team and win in college football. Obviously, you can add stars, but I think you have to build it. I think you have to be through some stuff to win when it matters. So I think all the old school people who hate the NIL thing are actually going to have examples in front of them talking about why it's not great. But I like the players are making money. I just think we need to get a little bit of
structure.
Yeah, some structure. I think so everybody knows what to expect when they're going in there.
I love the fact that players are making money.
Hell yeah.
I've been on that, out there on that limb for a long time. I thought Reggie Bush should have made money at USC.
He did.
Well,
he did.
Yeah, not as much as he should have made.
Correct.
And then they took the stiff arm trophy away from him. So he got punished for making money, from earning that he deserved.
Yeah.
So
you're saying he should have made it legally.
Yeah, exactly.
Legally,
it's like, and people came down on him. I'm like, no. I mean, number 5 jersey. But anyway, we need structure. There's no doubt about that.
We'll go there.
I had discussed this with them a commercial break. But we do need structure. We do need guardrails. Bad decisions are made by coaches. Bad decisions are made by players. You cannot legislate decision making. So if somebody's going to give one of these kids $1 million, that's on them. Just like these coaches, we have universities giving huge contracts, and then they're terrible, right? And then they get money after they're fired. So I'm not worried about, okay, there's going to be a bad deal here, bad deal there. That's beside the point. We need structure. It's the wild, wild west. And because we don't have groups, I talked to people in NFL front office people. They said the NFL, they have structure, right?
Yep.
They have a union, they have a labor office. So they can see people who are tampering and things like that, and you're going to get penalized for that. We don't have that in college football, and that's one of the biggest issues. You need guardrails, you need structure, you need a union or something that's going to sit there. We thought the NCAA was the governing body. They don't care. Right. They're not doing anything about this.
They just feel powerless. But the question becomes, who makes the guardrails? Who collectively bargains it? Who enforces it? Who is it that will represent the players' interest? Because it's a bad idea to have the governing body or the NCAA to say, here are the rules. That hasn't worked.
Well, and like when Pat was talking about players too, like I've been taken advantage of when I was young in my career. I had no clue what was going on. I have to trust people around me. Sometimes that's family members that don't know what they're talking about. So I think players having great representation. So that deal isn't just if you're on the roster in 3 years, you get paid $1 million. They get taken care of, but somebody has to enforce it. Listen, the NCAA, Reese, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the czar of all this stuff.
The voice.
What the heck do they do? Do they hand a trophy?
College football, yeah, that's all NCAA.
That's all they do. So what the heck are we doing?
Well, they don't do this
March Madness.
But they're good at administering championships and handing out trophies.
Okay, that's it.
Good at that.
So we need to get rid of them, and we need to have a football part of this that's business.
That's a big take.
And coming after you if you get a slice of pizza from a booster. They're good at that.
So here's where we've ultimately, the only answer to all of this, in my opinion, is you're going to this new playoff, the 12-team playoff. You create a new world. That's the reality. We still have realignment issues. We're still not settled with what the Big Ten is going to be, what the SEC is going to be. So once that gets finished, you create a new governing body. You create your own world. You go to the players and you say you form a union. The players and this new world will negotiate a CBA, just like the NFL. There will be rules. There'll be a governing body. They'll enforce the rules. That's the only answer to this. That's the only way this thing can land, and it's going to have to within the next year. Once we head to that 12-team playoff.
It seems pretty simple. Make a calendar on when things can happen, when they can't. If you have it on paper, nobody can complain because everybody knows what the expectations are. I think that's what all the coaches are upset about.
If you have a CBA like the NFL does, you know the rules of engagement. And you
know when you can talk to players.
Right now it's chaos. There's no rules. You imagine the NFL being run by 5 different commissioners. Roger Goodell and the Demore
Smith.
They along with the ownership, they all figure things out. And they create rules and everybody follows it. That's what college. That's what college football. Leave the NCAA. They have no authority. Create your own governing body.
You have somebody that's going to enforce it, though.
Well, the point at the beginning is that you have to have someone who's invested in doing it. The reason I brought up the 1800s and early 1900s. This has always happened, and you can't legislate ethics, and you're going to have to find some type of way to get the players' interest represented fairly. And unions will be problematic. I'm told by my lawyer friend Rod Gilmore, because the membership will be constantly turning over. But you can have a trade association that might be able to negotiate on their behalf.
And you're going to have to buy in if you're going to want to win. Can't be your whole team, but I think you're going to have to adjust and adapt to this. So hopefully they make these changes sooner than later.
And these coaches that are all complaining, just put a name on it.
They're not willing to do that because somebody's going to put their name on it.
Tampering? Exactly. That's exactly right. So they're doing it as well. So
that was crazy. Jimbo was in on that too. How'd you guys get him in on that? That was crazy.
We need rules. I need rules.
Yeah. All right. Sonny Dykes is going to join us in a minute. Kirby Smart a little bit later on. What a job Sonny's done. Home Depot Coach of the Year, head coach of the Horned Frogs, going to lead his team in against Michigan. He will be with us when College Game Day restores order. Oh, the hoodie and the sport coat. Looking good. Is that okay by you? Actually good for a casual look.
I like that.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz. See your dealer for exceptional offers on Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles.
I'm the team mascot, and boy, am I running late. But I got lead in my foot and spirit in my fingers. Ow, what a hit. And if you have cut rate car insurance, the cost to cover that might tank your season.
So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem like me. Woo!
Question. How's your money management game? I tried spreadsheets, post-it notes, and mental math, but could never keep up with everything. That's why I started Rocket Money, an app to lower bills, find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, and bring your entire financial picture into focus. Download Rocket Money today.
Men over 45, do you have a frequent urgent need to urinate day and night? I have good news. Presenting the UroLift system, an outpatient treatment that simply reopens the channel to increase flow with no cutting. Yes.
Most side effects are mild to moderate. Serious bleeding and infection events are rare. Visit urolift.com.
Ask your urologist about UroLift. Call 800-250-7300 today.
Restless nights fogging up your day? Tonight, try ZzzQuil Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy with melatonin to help you fall asleep naturally, plus extended release B vitamins. Wake up feeling refreshed. Pure Z's. Sleep better, wake up your best.
Some men and women freak out when they first notice signs of hair loss. Some say, no big deal, I don't look much different. Either way, hair loss does sneak up on you. And if you do nothing, chances are you'll soon see your hair getting thinner and thinner and thinner. All while a range of great options are available to you right now.
Before you lose any more hair, grab your phone and scan this QR code. Because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can stop your hair loss and give you your real hair back permanently. We're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who scans the code now.
But remember, the sooner you get started, the sooner your results of great-looking hair.
For a free information kit and gift card for $250 off, scan the code. Don't wait. Scan the code now. Get the permanent solution to hair loss. Protected by the Bosley Guarantee.
Naturello has organic broccoli, blueberries, and carrots.
Ours has polyethylene glycol.
Vitamin E from sunflowers.
Red 40 Lake.
Which is another way of saying artificial coloring. Naturello Whole Food Multivitamins. Available on Amazon and naturello.com.
A dental tool is round for a reason. So is an Oral-B. Round cleans better by surrounding each tooth. So clean, you'll feel like you just left the dentist. Oral-B. Brush like a pro.
Come and get it.
This guy's got a wolf.
Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. The great Ryan Seacrest, big Georgia fan, by the way. He's on ABC. Preeminent destination to ring in the new year. If you want to check that out, New Year's celebrations from around the world will be seen on that. And perhaps it won't just be Happy New Year, but another chant that will be coming from Fort Worth about the time the ball drops.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Riff Ram.
Riff Ram.
Bazoo.
Bazoo.
Lickety lickety zoo zoo.
Lickety lickety zoo zoo.
Woo wah wah hoo.
Woo wah wah hoo.
Give 'em hell TCU.
Give 'em hell TCU. Riff Ram. Bazoo. Lickety lickety zoo zoo. Woo wah wah hoo. Give 'em hell TCU.
Week 6 was the first time I think I got it right.
After a while, you catch on to it. You can read a Dr. Seuss book. You can have fun with it.
I think it's just more of a celebration of a win.
It's funny because people ask me about it. He's like, what does that even mean? I was like, I don't know. We all say it. Everybody gets hyped. That's all that matters to me.
Well, the Frogs have used Riff Ram and the Hypnotoad to get into the playoff for the first time. And how about coaches in their first season as head coach at a particular school making the playoff? Lincoln Riley, Ryan Day, and now Sonny Dykes, who is kind enough to join us from the desert. And while I'm sure Sonny has developed a great affinity for Riff Ram, maybe today, Sonny, the more appropriate thing would come from the Horned Frog legend Dutch Meyer, who said, fight him till hell freezes over and then fight him on the ice. Your boys ready to fight today against Michigan?
Yeah, for sure. We're excited. It's been a heck of a week here in Phoenix. The Verbo's been awesome. The Fiesta Bowl's been incredible. But now it's time to play. So our guys are excited and ready. You could see the excitement in the room last night. So we're ready to tee it up today and see what happens.
Hey, Coach, I don't know if you headbutted one of your guys or not, but
cut himself shaving.
You were awesome. This is obviously your first year at TCU. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
I got a 6-year-old son, man. I mean, I got a different injury every day.
Wow.
I had a swollen eye earlier in the week, so awesome. I look a lot better than I used to.
Hey, well, I'm happy your 6-year-old son is trying to treat this just like any other game. Hey, Dad, I don't care if you're in a college football playoff. I'm going to give you a haymaker right above your eye with a black eye. But let's talk about your team. We chatted about it earlier. 5 guys with bowl experience. This is your first year there. Obviously, Max Duggan is a dog. And on the offensive line, Steve Avila is a guy. And Kendre Miller. How have you been able to get them to buy in so quickly? And now that this is the expectation.
Yeah. You know, we got a lot of leadership on this team. I mean, that's been the biggest thing that I've been really a little bit surprised by, a bit excited by. That's been the key to our season, really. We just got a lot of tough-minded guys, a lot of guys that are unselfish, really care about each other, have provided tremendous leadership. You know, we had 2 contrasting games back-to-back. We had a big lead against Oklahoma at halftime, walked in the locker room, expected to find guys celebrating. Everybody was sitting down talking about the second half and how we needed to focus. A week later, we got a 17-point deficit, walked in the locker room, and it was the same. And that's, to me, when I knew, hey, this team's pretty special because they handle success and failure the same way. They're consistent. They show up. They go to work, and it's a tough-minded group.
Coach, thanks for joining us, Desmond Howard. You know, when Pat asked you about the cut over your head, I thought you were going to give us the Nick Saban response, like you should see the other guy. You went the other direction. You blamed it on your 6-year-old son. Yeah, I respect that. When you look at Michigan's offensive line, this group won the Joe Moore Award as the best offensive line in the country. What concerns do you have with your defense going up against Michigan's offensive line?
Well, they're really good. I mean, they've won it back-to-back years, and certainly that's how this Michigan team is built, is up front. Both the offensive and defensive front are big and physical. They're well coached. They play with great technique. That's something that doesn't get talked about much. But these guys are technicians. They work well together. They got a lot of experience. So it's a really good group. You know, the thing that we have to do, and it's real simple, is we got to play really hard. We got to play physical. We got to play with a tough mindset. And then we have to do our job consistently, and that's hard to do when you got big people banging on you. And you look at the second half of games, Michigan's been outstanding in the second half, and I think what happens is their offensive defensive fronts start to take over the game. So, you know, we're a more physical team than people think. I think sometimes people hear Big 12 and they think you're not physical. We're kind of an air raid style of offense. They think you're not physical. You know, this is a tough group. I mean, we're big up front, particularly in our offensive line. Our guys are tough, and we play a physical brand of football.
Very experienced as well, at least in terms of number of games played up front. Sonny, wish you all the luck in the world. Thank you for spending time with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me. And again, thank you for what you guys do for college football, man. It's a fun to watch it.
Going to full guard with that 6-year-old next time.
That's right. Got to cover up. Keep the hands high, Sonny.
That's all, man. It's a big game, man. Take it easy.
He said he had a black eye earlier in the week.
That kid, that 6-year-old's tough.
Yeah. Today's road test is presented by Goodyear. Now, Sonny's team has made a living with explosive offensive plays. And you see Michigan's defense only allowed 3 of those. Earlier in the show, I mentioned only one of those 3 50-yard plays have been pass plays, and that's really where Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston have excelled over the course of the season. But, LC, this Michigan team comes in wanting to prove itself after losing in the playoff last year.
And Michigan is on a roll. They're 13-0 for the first time in school history. They've won 25 of the last 27 games. In my opinion, Michigan is the best football team in the nation. They should be number 1 in the playoff. But having said that, I got great respect as a former coach for Sonny Dykes.
Unreal.
And I especially know he's a good friend of his dad's fight.
Yeah.
He's late, passed away.
Yeah.
I can only imagine him looking down and saying, Sonny, I'm proud of you.
That's my guy, right?
Hey, my guy.
Unbelievable. First year, too.
Yeah.
You saw this coming when we were together at the Doak Walker, right? When we were in Dallas.
TCU.
Yeah, exactly. One thing about this game is sometimes we have so much time to break games down. You do kind of fall into the trap of stereotypes. He just touched on the physicality. They are a physical team. One thing about Michigan is you look at them as a physical team, and they are. They're going up against a 3-3-5 that everybody plays in the Big 12. And what that means is 3 down linemen and 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs, built really for space. But TCU's version of that is they love to attack and leave their corners on islands who they have confidence in. To me, a big factor in this game, Des, will be J.J. McCarthy, will be the passing game.
Yeah.
They are going to run the ball, but Michigan now is a team that will pick their spots. And if they win this game, it'll be 3 or 4 plays, not just from the Ohio State game, but the last couple of years, whether it's a trick play, one-on-one shots downfield. Yeah. McCarthy to those receivers could be the difference in this game today.
Best team in the league.
You said it, but we'll see. He's like, yeah, what are you up to?
Exactly.
What's he up to?
That one there is very sly.
You know what I'm saying? One-on-one shots.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Listen, we've had the opportunity to watch TCU live a few times during the season. Very impressed with the offense. And it all starts with their quarterback, Max Duggan. He wasn't even a starter at the beginning of the season, but he was a backup, starter got hurt, and I'm going to show you what he brings to the offense. Not only is he just the heart and soul of the offense, Max Duggan is the heart and soul of the whole team. Now, here's a zone read. The defender at the top is the edge defender. Zone read. Max Duggan's going to pull it because the defender committed to the run. But watch, all that space out there to the right. He has a one-on-one out there with a cornerback. What does he do? He plants that right foot, goes north and south, bounces off a few defenders. He brings that edge, that toughness to the offense. And then Kendre Miller. Guys, his vision, when he sees something, he has great acceleration through a hole, and he uses acceleration as power. Talking about contact balance, he's great. Yards after contact, he's a hard guy to bring down. He has surprisingly good speed, too. But we mentioned this guy earlier, Quentin Johnston. Man, oh man, I think he's wide receiver #1 in this class, period. Not only is he great with his range, his route running, his ability to make catches, but then yards after contact. Usually tall, rangy receivers, they're kind of easy to bring down. Not Quentin Johnston. He's a guy, after he catches the ball, he's going to get north and south. Not easy to tackle. This offense is very impressive and very explosive, Pat.
Yeah, to your point, Quentin Johnston going to be the #1 wide receiver off the board, I think, in everybody's mind, especially how he's blown up this particular year. And Darius Davis is their wide receiver #2, also a return specialist. He is electrifying. I assume Jim Harbaugh and Michigan will have something for that. But to echo your Miller, 14 straight games he's had a touchdown in. Yeah. Now, it's because the offensive line's so amazing. He runs so hard, 17 touchdowns on a season. There's a guy named Steve Avila, and I asked Sonny Dykes about him. He's a guard, 477 straight passing snaps, no sacks. Wow. You're talking about now they're going to have to take on this Michigan D-line that plays very tough football and rough football. But TCU, from a size-wise, is a good matchup against the bully that is Michigan. Excited to see the battle of wits. And you got to remember, Garrett Riley, Broyles Award winner, offense coordinator. Yeah. And Sonny Dykes said, everybody wants to say we're air raid and we're this, we're that. He went and got Garrett Riley because he has the run game to add to it. I feel like they've had magic in a bottle this year. Yep. Obviously, big-time comeback wins, but they got the guys around there. Will they be able to keep up with Michigan? We shall see.
Garrett Riley making his own name in the Riley family with his brother Lincoln, doing a heck of a job this year.
He's the Riley that's in the playoffs.
That's right.
After all, with Lincoln missing out, we'll see Lincoln in the Cotton Bowl against Tulane coming up. Michigan players talked last year in the playoff about how they were happy to be there. Gene Wojciechowski joins us now. Gene, I guess the significance of seizing every moment in life certainly not lost on the players, and it doesn't have anything to do necessarily with losing a playoff game last year.
Well, Reese, earlier this season, we introduced our game day audience to Demetrius Michi Walker. When Michigan plays TCU today, well, they're going to be playing for a chance to compete in the national championship. But they'll also be playing for Michi, who became a part of this Michigan team. And these Michigan players have kept him in their hearts and in their memories.
Oh, you jumping. Okay. Kai, his dad is everything to him. He sort of understands that his dad isn't feeling well. Like, Daddy hurt. Big boy.
Every day, 18-year-old Demetrius Michi Walker gives his 2-year-old son Kai love and time. The love is unconditional. The time, though, is uncertain.
I try my hardest to show him that Daddy is in pain, but Daddy will always love you, and I will always be here to the day I die.
In the fall of 2020, Michi Walker was a 6'5", 266-pound junior defensive end for the Big Reds of Muskegon High School. He already had offers from Kentucky's Big Blue and Michigan State's Big Green, but he was holding out for the Big House and the only colors that mattered to him, the maize and blue of his home state dream school, Michigan.
That was the place where he was definitely going to sign. The recruiter, he came to see Michi, and he told him, "You are what we want." And he was just jumping. I mean, the house was shaking.
What was it about Michigan that you always loved?
Just the culture about it, you know, the team, the coaching staff, just the way they did things, the way they carried themselves, and I just love that about them.
But that November, after a doctor had noticed a lump on Michi's left knee during an exam, a biopsy revealed osteosarcoma, bone cancer.
It's still hard to this day, you know? That takes a big, toll in my heart.
What did you tell your son that day?
I love you. I'm here, and we're going to fight until we cannot fight anymore.
Despite surgery and 9 months of chemotherapy, the cancer returned in late 2021. In April of this year, with the tumor now the size of a head of lettuce, Michi's left leg was amputated, and yet the cancer continued to spread. But word of Michi's fight also spread, all the way back to Ann Arbor.
I heard of a young man who was a former football player who was in hospice care, and would we meet him, show him around?
His recruiting was just taking off. And so it is a heartbreaking story, but it is also a story with a lot of beauty in it because he's a beautiful kid.
On August 13th, Michi and his family made the 173-mile drive from Muskegon to Michigan Stadium for his first ever visit inside the Big House.
How we doing? I'm doing good. Coach Harbaugh.
Michi was hurting so bad that day. His whole body was just in excruciating pain. He just smiled like nothing ever happened, like he wasn't even in pain.
Michi, our good friend here from Muskegon. He's gonna score a touchdown today. Took the end off and scored my touchdown. There we go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. I spiked the ball, made it twirl. Yeah, definitely. After that, it was history.
It was Michigan. It was the miracle of Michigan. Michigan woke him up, and I thank them.
As his condition worsened, Michi lost more than 70 pounds, had difficulty breathing, and often slipped in and out of consciousness. But Michi didn't battle cancer alone.
Coach Klink would always tell the DBs, like, don't ever for a second come out and think like you can't give this game your all, because people like Michi would give anything to be in our position. He would tell us, like, he doesn't even know how many days of life he has left.
Wearing a jersey autographed by the entire team, Michi later attended a Michigan game, where he got the introduction he had always dreamed of.
In the Big House, please welcome Michi to Michigan Stadium.
And a standing ovation that he never could have imagined.
Hey guys, we're gonna dedicate this game to Michi Walker. That's something that empowered our guys. And if you're gonna dedicate a game to somebody, you gotta win it.
Touchdown, Blake Corum! Michigan!
That was 4 quarters of gritty football, just like the person, Michi, who we're giving this game ball to. We dedicated this game to. I love Michigan.
They love you back.
Yeah, they do. There you go. Man, I really wish things were different. I might have to get this to my son when he grows up. Go Blue! Hey. L to the victors. Man, we going to the championship and I feel it. Keep it for him so I can remember who I am.
On December 9th, 18-year-old Michie Walker could fight no more. He died surrounded by family and remembered by many, including a team that will always consider him one of their own.
I can only think, as much as we hurt right now, that the standing ovation that he's getting at heaven is thunderous. We designed a patch that we're going to put on our helmet.
Every time, we look at that sticker, just in my mind, I'll just be thinking for Michie.
He's right there with us. I know that he's going to be by our side and he's going to be propelling us to that victory.
Michie's memorial service was held about 10 days ago. The players, the staff, the coaches were able to watch it live stream back at Schembechler Hall. That Michigan jersey that you saw Michie wear in the piece, it was framed and positioned right next to his casket. And that casket was decorated with a huge Michigan logo. Once a Michigan man, always a Michigan man. College Game Day will return to Atlanta after these messages.
The greatest threat to that ranch is our father. So I will remove the threat.
On the mid-season finale of Yellowstone.
I got something to ask Casey. I need his help. I need it from all of you.
Governor Dutton has violated state law. The Attorney General's office is seeking impeachment.
He has declared war upon us.
I'm aware, Beth.
Yellowstone, only on Paramount Network.
What's up, Einstein?
My network has gone kaput.
You tried to save a buck on it?
I got what I paid for. Not so smart.
Nah, you're still a genius. But there is a smarter way to save.
Oh.
Switch to Verizon. For a limited time, get Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line.
$25?
And it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Brilliant!
Well, you would know.
I'm switching.
I think the bike's probably faster.
Now is the best time to switch to Verizon for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. The savings that last on the network you want. Verizon.
Rated T for teen.
Put me in the game.
Miss Rousey. We already have hundreds of champions, so.
Put me in the game.
We should definitely do that. Now, you will need a weapon.
Oh, hello. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Download Raid Shadow Legends and get the legendary Ronda Rousey champion for free.
BlendJet's holiday sale is on now. Save big on the #1 gift this holiday season. The BlendJet 2 portable blender gives you ice-crushing, big blender power on the go. Throw in your favorite ingredients and blend up a delicious smoothie anytime, anywhere. BlendJet 2 even cleans itself. Just add water, a drop of soap, and blend. Recharge quickly with any USB port. Order now from blendjet.com and get our best deal ever.
Only 4 teams remained. Soon, they would take part in an epic playoff battle for the right to call themselves national champions.
Did you think you could relax? That you'd seen everything there was to see? Or have you realized you can't look away and that the game has never been better? That is hockey.
Another weekend spent running errands. Hang on, I wonder if I can Instacart some of this stuff. I need to get paint for the deck, more cat treats and litter, and essentials for the week. Wow, Instacart's saving me trips to multiple stores, which means I can actually enjoy my Saturday and finally have time to play catch with the kids. When you want to run errands without running in circles, the world is your cart. Visit instacart.com or download the app and get free delivery on your first order.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
People have asked the question, how does it feel to be hunted? We will not be hunted at the University of Georgia. I can promise you that. The hunting that we do will be done from us going the other direction.
Starts with practice. I feel like days like Bloody Tuesday and just how physical we are with practice, it definitely follows into the game. And of course, in those tough times in the fourth quarter.
It's a one-game season at this point, and we just want to go out there and win, and then win again. So you know it's going to be a battle.
Everybody wants to, crown you as this undisputed leader, and the reality of things is football isn't played with probability. Probability does not always equal reality. So it's up to you to make sure that your reality equals the probability.
People come to take what we got, but we still hungry, and we'll show the world December 31st what that look like.
This is the realm Georgia seeks to join. Nebraska 94-95, SC 2003-04, Bama 11-12 as repeat national champions. But remember, SC in the middle of that was a split title in 2003 with LSU. Nebraska, Alabama undisputed, and there will be no question if Georgia can win 2 more games that they will be the kings of college football. Pleased to be joined by the head dog, Kirby Smart, from Georgia headquarters. So, Kirby, we just heard your players and you talking about being the hunted, and you challenged them to find motivation for themselves during this month or so layoff in preparation for this game. What kind of hunters do we expect to see tonight?
Hungry hunters. I think that's the only way to hunt. You got to eat. And when you attack a game, you got to attack it that way. I'm sure Ohio State feels the same way. There's one way to go about playing in a semifinal game. As if it's the only game, and it's the only game you're guaranteed, and come out aggressive and come out swinging like I know both teams will.
Well, Coach, how do you last year you had the Bama game and the SEC championship game, so you had a reason to kind of create that. You had the revenge, you had the loss. How do you do that with a team that has been undefeated, and what's been the emphasis you've placed on it in practice and with the guys?
Well, you show them. You show them the tape. You show them the things we've done wrong. We didn't have exactly the perfect SEC championship game, so we had a lot of things to work on. And, we talk all the time about how the mighty fall and what things bring people down. And our team's well connected. We don't think that you have to have a loss to play your best. Sometimes that does help. I certainly think it helped our team last year. But for us, it's about how we play and how we do things. And our guys have practiced really physical the last couple of weeks. And excited to see them go out and play tonight.
Coach, congrats on all the success, obviously being the reigning, defending national champions. There's going to be a target on your back all season. You have performed fantastically. And we saw a video of you picking off Peyton Manning back in the day, so we know that you're a defensive mastermind. But you lose 8 guys to the NFL draft last year. At the beginning of the season, I think a lot of people were wondering how this defense was going to come together. Then Chris Smith, Jalen Carter. What was it about this season that this defense really took shape, and what did you see from them, and at what moment did you know they could be a national championship defense?
Well, that moment was not in spring practice because we struggled through that area. We had some holes. Our offense attacked us, and we knew we had some ground to make up. It made for a great offseason, great conditioning season over the summer. Our players took a lot of ownership in getting better. Our players owned that on the defensive side of the ball, and our offense made us better. But our defensive staff, Glenn Schumann, Coach Muschamp, have done an unbelievable job to get us in this position. And our kids come out and played really hard. We didn't play our best game the last time out defensively, but the offense picked us up.
Kirby, we appreciate your time. I know you're going for that walk around the hotel to get ready for tonight. A long day. Look forward to seeing the national champions come back in and start the pursuit of another title. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, and go Dogs.
All right, there's Kirby Smart. They've won 2 games in this building already. Now, the one thing, Pat mentioned that Kirby's a defensive mastermind. One thing that's been a hallmark for them, when they face good quarterbacks, they blitz more. They had season-high blitzes both games against Bryce Young last year, season-high against Hendon Hooker this year. How can that disrupt C.J. Stroud? What do you expect from Stroud?
Don't get good guys time.
Right, exactly.
That's a great idea to not get beat in the back end. But C.J. Stroud in rhythm, on time, he's filthy. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He can throw the football wherever he wants to. To me, it's about the rhythm. It's about when that back foot gets in the ground and he knows where he's going with the football, it's going to be a heck of a throw. You watch CJ, good footwork, knows where he's – look at that ball, dude. That is ridiculous accuracy, location, understanding, again, where he's going with the football. You didn't create confusion. Marvin Harrison, I love moving him around in the slot. Look at this throw. A lot of quarterbacks in college football don't throw this because they don't trust it.
Yeah.
Watch where he throws it. Away from the safety spot on the outside. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes up and gets it. So I got to create a little bit of inside pressure. I got to get him a little bit off his spot and make those feet move a little bit. A la Jalen Carter, 88. He's pretty good at that.
88, right?
Yeah, he's okay. He's a pretty good dude.
I got some tape.
A little bit of pressure inside, a little bit of hesitation with him. He's not a guy that wants to create or a guy that wants to run. He's going to throw the football down the field.
CJ's a guy, and to get him off the spot, they're going to need big 88. 6'3", 300 pounds. He can eat people, right? Take on double teams. Nope, he's also got a little wiggle. This guy's the defensive player of the year for the Georgia Bulldogs. Got hurt against Oregon, came back 10 games, has been dominated, and also isn't scared to proclaim dominance over people. Got to love that, DP. How about Pop? Jamon Dumas Johnson. This guy can spy the quarterback. Obviously, AR-15 here, going to the NFL. Incredible athlete. Pop is a guy who's known for pop because we think he has big pop. Shed the block. Do your job. Look at form, tackle, get him out of bounds. Balance. 245 pounds. 245. He's a dog. Speaking of dogs, Chris Smith here. He is the smartest football player on the field, says Tim Tebow. When I asked him earlier, he can read, he can react, he doesn't fall for anything. And then when you need him, boom, big time play in the open field. With all the weapons that Ohio State has, they're going to have to rely upon those dogs on the defensive side. And I asked Kirby about, like, when did you see them come together? And he said in the meeting, he said they got to watch the team last year. The physicality kind of radiated through, but they wanted to put their own legacy on it. They have certainly done that, Des. They've been a fun team to watch. Even though everybody says their opponents haven't been unbelievable, I think they're ready for the challenge of Ohio State today.
Great tape.
Thank you.
Learned a lot.
There we go.
That was a lot of fun.
There we go.
I tell you what, I like Keely Ringo, the defensive back for Georgia, number 5. He's like a shutdown corner. We got to watch him against Tennessee. This was when Tennessee was hot, and he had a hell of a game against them. I want to see if he's going to match up one-on-one against Marvin Harrison Jr. We talked about him earlier. We showed the conversation with his dad. I mean, he's a potential first-rounder in 2024. I want to see if we have that matchup, that one-on-one, Ringo against Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's not a good matchup for anybody, by the way. Marvin Harrison Jr. is scary for anybody. Good Lord.
So good.
Hey, that's what I call a money game. This is a money matchup.
Yeah, go make it.
Yes, sir.
Especially the way his father has pushed him and navigated his way through the ranks.
I mentioned it before. Marvin Harrison saying to his son, hey, listen, when you get there, let's not be listening to anybody that's on the
Meanwhile,
field.
Brian Hartline's like the best receiver. He's a pretty good coach, knows what he's doing.
I think he said respect the coach. Just everybody else is trying to bring it down.
It's working, whatever they're doing.
Unbelievable.
We're talking a lot about Ohio State's offense against the Georgia defense, but I'm telling you guys, this game's going to be decided by the Ohio State defense after 35 days of hearing about how much they suck, how they show up in this game against this offense. It's not just Stetson Bennett. It's those two tight ends. That look, Ohio State, can they match the physicality at the line of scrimmage and then deal with the bootlegs and the play action to those tight ends? How do they match up with those two NFL tight ends? To me, is going to be fascinating to watch.
It's going to be a great thing. We'll talk about that extensively a little bit later on in College Game Day, too. We're going to break both of these semifinals down every way you can possibly imagine, because really it takes
an hour and 17 minutes.
I know, it's
starting to fill up.
It takes an entire organization to get ready. You hear coaches all the time talk about everybody in the organization plays a role. Jess Sims with us with a particular role that was really challenging for some, Jess.
Absolutely, Reese. Now, routine is king, and I talked to Ohio State's Director of Equipment, Kevin Reese, and he said whether it's a home game, a one-day road trip, or a full bowl week, we just want to replicate everything. So from squat racks to fruit snacks, Ohio State has literally brought everything. So planning started on December 7th with a site visit to Atlanta, and by the 20th, the packing was well underway. So in addition to all player equipment, a weight room with 10,000 pounds of weights, 200-gallon cold tubs, and 17 trunks with medical equipment and recovery tools were also taken in 2 very full 53-foot semis, which luckily got ahead of the ice storm on the 22nd. 17 team members got on the lucky flights that weren't canceled due to the polar vortex to set up the stadium on the 23rd, the hotel on the 24th, and the team arrived on the 25th. To everything just perfect. Now, Reese, I need to tell you this. Not pictured, but very, very important. 30 boxes of 3 different kinds of Pop-Tarts, 240 packages of 3 different kinds of Welch's fruit snacks, and 200 honey buns also made their way to right here in Atlanta.
Need
I mean,
those.
the most important things.
Put them in a microwave? Yes.
Wait a minute. No, frosted or unfrosted Pop-Tarts,
Got to be
Jess?
frosted.
They didn't specify, but it has to be frosted. It has to be, and yes, in the microwave.
Is that even a question? Is that something that exists? You just
Unfrosted Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, that exists.
Why would they